Light as a feather when I'm floating through, reading through the daily news, measuring the hurt within the golden rule. Centimeters of ether, I'm heating the speaker. Motivational teacher with words that burn people. Singing the headlines, line with discord. It's either genocide or the planet in uproar. Never good. The rules in paradise are never nice. The best laid plans of mice and men are never right. I'm just a vagabond with flowers for Algernon, an average Joe who knows what the fuck is going on. It's the hope of my thoughts that I travel upon. Fly like an arrow of God until I'm gone. So drifting away like a feather in air, letting my words take me away from the hurt and despair. So I'm keeping it vertical, forever elevator, riding the escalator to the something that is greater. So I'm drifting away like a feather in air, letting my soul take me away from the hurt and despair. So I'm keeping it vertical, forever elevator, riding the escalator to the something that is greater.
Taking chances, word tap dancing with wolves in an ice arena out there deep in the woods of Arizona. The sun be out, life's ironic, ain't it? Trying to be Dali when I write surreal life, I painted vivid. Habitat crazy insane, watching propaganda 6 o'clock, news and insane. Cultures clash, all black folk and white trash. They rebel in the cyberspace and might crash. Dash to millennium, a million miles are running. At the speed of now, bound no return gunning. Rambo style gun, hold child gunning. Ambo plow 2 times loud, stunning. Stunning when it hit ya, lift you off the earth like, hey yo, take you right back to earth. And niggas wonder why, they might wonder why this shit might happen, but it does. It go
Drifting away like a feather in air, letting my words take me away from the hurt and despair. So I'm keeping it vertical, forever elevator, riding the escalator to the something that is greater. So I'm drifting away like a feather in air, letting my soul take me away from the hurt and despair. So I'm keeping it vertical, forever elevator, riding the escalator to the something that is greater. Treat you better than me, cause that's the heavenly key to unlock the inner strength. What my essence will be, it's the knowledge of self, understanding of the things around me that becomes the wisdom that I need. Living this life to the best of my ability, channeling energy to my thoughts, attain symmetry. Remember me, because my prose remain gold. I got the gift of gab like them pimps and cane goals. It never ends, I keep it rolling like a cipher. The first caveman bringing fire, innovating it higher to plasma states. I raise the stakes, it's double or nothing in this vacuum of space. I will survive divine to time to cry. Fuck a hold or hide, I'm alive with pride. And I drove the Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Singing this will be the day that I die.
All right. What is going on, people? What's up? Did this nigga really just change into a member of Organization 13 during the pre-roll? Yo, what the fuck is going on here, man? I swear to God, y'all, I had no idea that this dude was going to go ahead and do that during the pre-roll. Because, all right, so to fill y'all in, when it comes to us doing the pre-rolls and everything, it's usually just me telling Gabe to be quiet while I play the music, whether it's like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. I did not know this man would just go ahead and bust out a whole Organization 13 outfit. That's just, kudos to you on that one, Gabe. How did you pull this off? Did you, like, what even brought you to this? I'm really confused at this point.
I'm kind of a magician part-time.
Magician part-time, dealer of spiky-haired kids the other time. Is that what you do?
Big feet.
This man said big feet. Yo.
Feet.
Well, you know what they say about big feet, bro?
Big brain.
Yeah, you know what? Let's go with that. Oh, okay, some people are saying I sound a little out of sync. That's right, you guys. Let us know early in advance if you notice some syncing issues, some audio issues. Let me go ahead and adjust that real quick. How about now? I think I should be a little more in sync. How's that, you guys? Everything look good? Everything look good? How does everything sound? Let us know, ladies and gentlemen. This show is still a work in progress, so we are working out the kinks with each and every stream we do. Let's see. All right, much better. You know what I think it was? Because when I record my videos, I use the 4K option on this webcam. And so I just copy and pasted the settings over with the stream. Now, even though we stream in 1080p, I like to have it at a higher resolution, so it like does downscaling and everything, or at least I like to think as smart as I think I am, which is not that smart at all. Trust me, it took me. If I told you how long it took me to put together this TV stand, you would not know. But I enlisted the help of my fine sister.
Was it from IKEA?
It was not from IKEA. It was actually from Costco. And this is not a sponsorship for Costco, but Costco does sell some really awesome products, man. Where'd you get that from, Costco?
Which thing?
The thing you were drinking.
I don't have a Costco membership. I'm broke.
Oh shit, man. Well, you know what? We're gonna start a GoFundMe to get this man Gabe a Costco membership. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen,
this man was trying to sell me on Costco before the stream even started. He's like, "You guys got Costco out there? Let me tell you why you should have a Costco membership, Gabe."
I'm saying, bro, Costco is life, and everybody, if you have a Costco in your area or at least within 20-minute driving distance, it's worth it. It's an experience. But speaking of experiences, y'all about to have a sweaty one tonight. What is going on, people? Welcome back to another episode of the Sweaty Cast. I am part one of this sweaty escapade. Joining me tonight is my co-host slash Discord manager slash the guy who pumps the brakes when I try to hit on older women at the bar. We got the homie Gabe, or as he's known, Gabe X, because this nigga really looking like an Organization 13 character. Well, what's going on, Gabe? How have you been, brother?
What's up? I'm doing great. How are you, my dude?
I'm doing swell, man. I'm doing very swell, and I'm ready to dive into this episode because we have got a lot to discuss tonight, Gabe.
Oh, absolutely. There's a lot of news this time around.
Yeah, but before we dive into the news, I want to say what's up to everybody in the chat. It's good to see from everybody. We got a lot of regulars, a lot of first-timers, which is very awesome. So if you guys are enjoying the stream, make sure you hit that like button. It helps send this video out into the ether so more people can come into the Sweaty Nation, where we all wear deodorant, unlike anime conventions. So, you know, there's that plus we have over here.
GameStop midnight pickups.
Halo 3.
Smash Bros.
Straight up. So in addition to that, if you guys want to follow us on any type of social media, our handles are down below. Mine is NeoGameSpark. Gabe's is Shut Up Gabe with 2 E's. I heard he's still wrestling and wrangling with the person who got the one with the Gabe. I'm getting a little bit of echo. Well, it's gone right now, but there was a little echo on your part for a second. So okay, now it's officially
got it. All right.
So we all good. Cool. So yeah, if you guys want to follow us on social media, it is down below on the screen. Tweet out the stream, invite all your best friends or people you hate. I don't know, man. I don't care, Hey, you never know who could be watching.
Your uncles.
Right? Exactly. So before we dive into the actual topics, while we let a couple more people get into the stream, I want to talk to you, Gabe, about what you've been up to. What have you been playing? What have you been reading? What have you been watching? What's been going on in the world of Gabe?
Oh man, dude, that list is kind of big right now because I've been going to the comic book store at least once a week, and I somehow just make it out with 5 comics almost every time, and I have a stack that I need to read. But I started reading some new Spider-Man comics. Nice. I started reading there's this new event in the Marvel universe called King is Black. I started reading a couple of those. I've been reading the High Republic comics, and I just started playing in the midst of all this, started playing Yakuza for the first time.
Wow. Okay, you know what? All that stuff is great. Comics, Star Wars, Spider-Man, awesome, but you said my word right there, Yakuza. Talk to me about this. What brought you to this, bro? Yo, he tickled my fancy, man. I feel the tingle. I feel it. It feels fucking great, man. More Yakuza converts. Tell me about this wonderful story. How did this happen?
Okay, so I was trying to play some stuff on the PlayStation 4 because I have it in a different spot.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I wonder if I could play the PS collection on there. So Yakuza's not on the collection, but so I was adding games from the collection to the library, and I was going to the library, and I was going through my like PS Plus library, and I noticed Yakuza, and I was like, man, when did I redeem this? And it must have been forever ago. I don't know when Yakuza was free on PS Plus, but it must have been a long, long time ago because I just started paying for PS Plus when I got my 5.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed it there, and I was like, yo, like Chris talking about this. Everyone I talked to is talking about this. I was like, I just finished Spider-Man. I need like a new game to play that's, like a single player orientated game. And I downloaded it, and it's only like 8 gigs. And I launched it up, and I've been playing it for it's been about like 4 days now.
Nice, brother. Nice. It's always great to get more people into this amazing series that I hold so near and dear to my heart. Now, as far as your early impressions go, like, what do you think about it? Because Yakuza, it's always one of those franchises where I kind of have to, it's not that I have to warn people about what they're going to get going into it, but Yakuza for the longest time has always received this weird like impression from people that it's a Japanese Grand Theft Auto, which is anything
not
but
true.
that. Not true.
Yeah,
if you
not
go
true.
into Yakuza thinking, oh, it's an open world Grand Theft Auto set in Japan, you were sorely
You'd be
mistaken.
disappointed. Yeah, you'd be mistaken and disappointed if that's what you're thinking. Yeah, I've never watched gameplay for Yakuza. I've known about it. I've seen like the GIFs, I've seen the memes, I've seen people talk about it, including you and many other folks in the channel. I've had it recommended to me, but I've never actually like popped it in. So when I went and looked at, because I know there's a bunch of games, because I'm very well aware of the series, and I was like, man, like where do I start? So I went and looked, and I started playing with the remaster of 1, and then I'll start 0 after I finish 1. But I honestly still didn't look at any of the gameplay. Had no idea what I was playing or what I was going into. Didn't even know what kind of game it was. I knew Like a Dragon was a turn-based game because the internet was freaking out about that for a while there, saying, oh, they're changing the mold of the game. And I did some research on what was changed. I saw it was turn-based and wasn't too concerned. So I wasn't too sure what I was getting myself into. But man, dude, that game is... I don't even know how to explain that game. Like, I know like forever ago you told me like Yakuza is great, like, but I can't really like explain it to you like why it's so great and like what about it makes it great. But he's like, you just have to play it. And like after playing it, I now feel that way because I had a friend watching me play and they're like, what are you playing, Yakuza? They're like, what is it? And I'm like, I can't even like sum this up into like a 5-word summary or even like a sentence. I'm like, it's kind of best, but man, I'm loving it. It's really fun. It's really good.
Yeah, I'm so glad you're enjoying it, bro, and I'll pick your brain about this as you progress further into the game. But Yakuza, the best way I can describe it to people is it's probably unlike any game you've ever played before. In every aspect, from the tone,
absolutely,
from the soap opera dramatic story it has, the juxtaposition between really super serious moments where you're like, oh my god, this is just, my heart is beating so fast out of my chest, and then there's a naked guy running around chasing you in the very next scene, side mission. It's out of this world, but it's just handled so well, and I think that's its identity and what separates it from every other game out there.
Absolutely. It's very different. Like compared to most games I played, I could say I'm intrigued because I'm trying to see the identity of this game, and I kind of feel like it doesn't really have an identity because it's got such a split personality that like every part is like intriguing me more and more and more. Like I wasn't expecting the combat to be like that, and then I didn't realize that the combat has such like great camera angles and such great cinematics during the combat, and I'm like, man, this game just surprised me more and more and more.
Yeah, that's the best part about it, especially as you start playing the other games in the series, and then work your way through some other games that aren't Yakuza, but they are from the same developer. So things like Judgment and Fist of the North Star, especially Judgment. I can't wait for you to get to that point. When you can play that whenever, considering it doesn't have any type of bearing on the story. which
Yeah,
is
that's what I
awesome.
heard.
And the combat system in that game is just, you're gonna go from Yakuza to that, and then try to go back to Yakuza and be like, what the fuck, bro?
See, and that's my biggest worry about playing like some of these, is because I know like they've been remaking them. So like my
Yeah.
biggest worry is like running into one that's like I would say more advanced in combat, that I like it a lot, and then I go back to something that's like old and crusty, you know? So
Yeah.
it's like, that's my biggest concern. So that's why that's the path I started on. It's why I started with 1 instead of 0. I've
That's
had a couple
good.
people come at me and they're like, why aren't you playing 0? Why aren't you playing 0? But I've had a lot of people saying that I would appreciate the game more if I started off with 1 and then did 0 and then did 2, especially combat wise and story wise, because they said like the biggest impacts of 0 is knowing the characters from 1, is how it's explained to me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my whole standpoint on it. But dude, I love it. Like, the game's so crazy. Like when you do I forgot like what the move's called, but when you got the heat mode going,
Yeah.
like, dude, I didn't realize how much you can use almost like anything around you, and how like it dramatically changes. Like I walked up to a soda machine, and before I know, I'm smashing the guy's face into a soda machine.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh god be damn. Like everything in that area like changes it. It's honestly like a cinematic experience. I love it.
Yeah, the combat in Yakuza, especially with the newer entries, gets so dynamic. And even with the new one, Yakuza Like a Dragon, Yakuza 7, whatever part of the world you live in it's called, they definitely still keep that stuff. But we could sit here and talk our brains off about Yakuza, and knowing me, like I have to hold myself back, you guys, because there's so much I want to say, like about how he brought up how he's playing 1 over 0, and I'm just like, whoever told you that, they are good, but I'm not going to get into the reason why. Anyway, so as far as me myself, I've been doing a lot more gaming, especially as the year has started, because you know, with the start of every year, you try to clear out some games in your backlog, or at least games that you want to play from your backlog, because there's no way in the world any of us will finish our backlog. You know, it's impossible.
No, like if I look at Steam, I'm just gonna cry.
Yeah. You just be getting games for $2. You don't play them for 10 years, but you're like, I got that game for $2. I feel good.
Like when the Steam sales come up, I go to the $4.99 and under tab, and I look to see if there's something I want.
I just be buying things I know I'm not going to play, but dang it, when else is it going to be $4.99? Oh wait,
exactly.
The next sale they have. Dang it. So me, myself, and I've been doing I've been playing a lot of games that I can finish within like the 8 to 10 hour mark for my goal. So I'm going through Control right now.
Ooh.
It's funny because a lot of people are going through Control, considering it just hit PS Plus and it's been on Xbox Game Pass for a while. But I actually purchased the Ultimate Edition, I shit you not, like 2 weeks before they announced it was coming to Plus.
Oh, you hate to see it.
I know it sucks, but I was like, you know what? I'm just going to buy this, and then the next gen patch will be out next month. I'll be good. Wait, Control's Ultimate Edition is free on Plus, and the next gen patch comes out that day? Oh, damn. But I don't feel too bad, considering from what I've been playing, it's a really good game, and I'm not going to get into spoilers because this is the type of game where I want to really save my thoughts on it before I complete it, because it's not like Red Dead where you can do like incremental updates on how you feel, because that's like a 55-hour game.
Yeah, I get those updates from you all the time. Like,
yeah,
I know you haven't finished yet, but when you got through that one chapter, you were like, man.
Yeah.
Man.
it gets intense. So I'm playing through Control right now. In addition to that, I'm going through The Medium, because that just dropped a few weeks ago. Honestly, I
remember asking you how it was, and you said it was interesting, but you didn't really have much more to say at that point.
Right, because when it comes to those kind of games, especially like things, horror-based games, artistic games, like narrative-driven games, I like to let it soak a little bit before I come out and say, oh, this game is trash, because I put like 3 hours into The Medium. Gameplay-wise, the controls, I'm not a fan of it. It's very stiff. Like, if you've played old school survival horror games like on the PS2, I think you'll feel at home. But just for me, it's like when you go from something like Control, which feels very fluid, it's a fluid third-person game, and then the Medium, which literally feels like you're Agent 47 just walking around, I don't even know how to describe it, but it feels.
Oh yeah, speaking
really
of Agent 47, I've been playing Hitman 3 as well.
Yeah, there you go. There we go. So I've been going through those two games at the moment. In addition to putting in some more time into Yakuza Like a Dragon, I'm getting pretty close to the end of that game, which is awesome, but sad at the same time because I hate finishing good Yakuza games because that means I'm out of good Yakuza games, which sucks.
It sounds like a depressing feeling I'm going to eventually run into, but luckily I have, a massive backlog of those games to truck through.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm going through like those smaller games, finishing those up, and then the bigger stuff. Obviously, like Red Dead Redemption. I'm on the final chapter.
Yes,
and when I say I'm putting that off, man, I play a mission a day. Oh
my god,
dude, it's like I don't want that story to end. I
know. I know the last time you were telling me where you were at. I know that's like basically the halfway point of that chapter.
Yeah, it's
because the last chapter or the last mission for that chapter is called Red Dead Redemption, and there's a whole reason why it's called Red Dead Redemption. You're just like,
Yep. So I'll have that finished soon, and then I'm going to get on here and talk to Gabe about it. We might do a spoiler cast just to compare.
Spoiler cast?
Yeah, like a spoiler cast for a game that came out almost 3 years ago, but a spoiler cast, it's new to me. If I haven't played it, it's new to me.
It's true, man. Like there's games with like crazy stories that like somehow like I don't know how I did not run into the spoilers, and then I started playing it way later down the road, and I was like blown away by the story. So I mean, it does happen. Yes. Not often, but it does happen. Like I'm like, yo, this is how this ends.
I think that's what's happening with me with Red Dead, considering I played it when it first came out, bought it day one because I loved the first one. I got like 20% into it. I wasn't vibing it because with Red Dead Redemption, which I think a lot of people need to start saying more, Red Dead Redemption 2 is a very slow burn game. Very slow burn. You know what I'm saying? Like it has its big moments saved for like the end of the chapters and everything, but it's if you go from playing like GTA 5 and its epic set pieces like boom, 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 and then Red Dead is more getting you invested in the characters and the world and all that. And it makes things more impactful when you see certain elements link up and line up with the first game,
See, for me, it was the opposite. For me, so when Red Dead 2 came out, I did not stop playing it. I picked it up at GameStop at like 9:00 at night, and I played it nonstop until the end. And I never felt the way you felt. Mm-hmm. I was so like, I don't know. I was so like absorbed into the world on everything that was happening, from the missions to every little detail to how like ultra realistic it was, that like I just felt like I was in a new home away from home. So like I had the same feeling I had when I played Red Dead 1, that for me personally. So when I was playing it, not only was I like reminiscing like feelings and like the time I played Red Dead 1, but I was also like making like new memories and new feelings with this game. So I was just like so hooked into the game. I played that game like a week straight. Like like there was nothing else. There was no other like life. It was work and then Red Dead 2. So like to me, like it never felt like a slow burn. It just felt like this story that I needed answers to. I needed to know more about these characters. I needed to know how this connected to Red Dead 1 as far as the gang story goes. Like there were so much things that like mentally I was motivated and driven to, that like it never felt like a slow or dull moment for me, because I had so much of this like anticipation of like unanswered questions that I needed to finish it in order to, feel achieved some way. So like it never like sunk into me that like this game was a chore, because obviously I played it like my life depended on it.
Yeah, you see, and that just goes to show you, people, you can have folks on a podcast who both like the same thing and have differing opinions about it at the same time, and everything is okay,
Right.
Exactly.
I'm roasting you right now on Twitter. You talking about?
Oh, see, and then you have somebody like Gabe who does that. Oh, don't worry. You see, Gabe is just trying to get me back for the year straight. I roasted him every day about the rise of Skywalker. Because Gabe, when I tell y'all, Gabe gave that movie a standing ovation. He literally, when I say this man stood up and clapped, you had that one little tear come by, and he's just like, yes, like straight up. Y'all think I'm bullshitting, but you know what, Gabe? I think it's time we get into today's topics. Topics of the day. Topics. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So let's dive into the first topic of the evening, and we might as well just start out with the biggest one that just broke today. And if you didn't hear about this, if the internet hasn't told you about this, you about to hear this from us, because the first topic we're talking about today, and for whatever reason my webcam just went out of aspect ratio, I guess. We are going to be talking, like I said, technical difficulties here, people. One man show. We are going to be talking about The Mandalorian. Gabe, that's a great show, right?
Love the show. Phenomenal.
We got some bad news about The Mandalorian, though, bro. We got some really bad news about one of the main cast members, bro. So, I don't know if you heard about this. Today, Gabe. I don't know if the Star Wars fandom has told you this, or the right-wing outlets. No. Who knows? But one of the stars of The Mandalorian, Gina Carano, has been fired from some pretty spicy social media posts, man.
What? Gina with the spicy social media post? Unheard of.
I know. Gina, she's just been this very quiet person, stays in her lane, never says anything.
Silent. Absolutely not.
None. Okay, but to catch you guys up to speed, Gina Carano as a person is very outspoken about her, I don't want to say necessarily her beliefs, but basically, if there is ever something that she's not really vibing with, she'll let you know. So a few months back, there was controversy about people asking her to include pronouns in her Twitter bio. And instead of just taking the high route and just saying, you know, I'm not really whatever about this, I'm not going to do this, it's whatever, or not saying anything at all, you know, she decides to flip the page and make it into something more than it was. That caused her a bit of controversy, right? It pissed a lot of people off because she, instead of not responding to it, she went up there and she put R2-D2 sound effects, basically joking and mocking the people that do that, which is not the smartest thing to do, especially if you're a public figure attached to one of the hottest series on TV, backed by one of the biggest corporations of all time. You know, it's just not a good idea. But we fast forward a few months later, and Gina's at it again, Gabe. So
you're telling me, man. You're telling me.
So here's the thing. Before we dive into this, everybody is entitled to their own opinion.
Yes.
Everybody is. Like, whatever you think, whatever you believe, that is your own prerogative. Freedom of speech is a thing. However,
absolutely,
what a lot of people confuse is they conflate freedom of speech does not mean
freedom of consequence.
Exactly. So people say that, oh, I can say whatever I want. Why do you think? And I think Michael Che, in one of his Netflix special, he has a really good bit about this, where he says, like in the Constitution, you know, it's saying it's like the first rule is freedom of speech. I can say whatever the fuck I want. And then the second rule is the right to bear arms, because if I can say whatever the fuck I want, I should probably need a gun too. You know what I'm saying? To back that shit up. So Gina Carano, basically, the way so here's the thing. Like, if you're reading what she said, like, I'm with her for the most part up until the last bit of it. She's basically saying, to sum it up, hey, you guys, like, you shouldn't hate your neighbor because of your difference in political beliefs. Okay, I'm with you, Gina Carano. That's great. I totally understand that. Great. You know, because, you know, back in World War II, that's how they got the Nazis to hate the Jews. Whoa, Gina, where are you going with this? Where are you going with this? And that's how it's like nowadays being a Republican. And I'm like, Gina, what the fuck, bro?
Gina, no, Gina, what are you doing?
Oh, and for some people, because I know there's going to be a lot of people watching this on the playback, you guys really just glossed over everything that she said, or you're taking her stuff out of context. No, bro. This is literally what went down. So in light of this post that she put up, it's of course caused a lot of controversy from people, because she literally equated her having a difference a different political opinion than the norm to being a persecuted Jew in Nazi Germany. Like I'm trying to figure out like how these two were put together. Like how, Gina, how did you just look at this and then just look at this tweet and be like, yeah, that's right. Hit, send tweet. Like out of all the things, like you would think when you get to this level in Hollywood, bro, that you have professional handlers that can be the person like
that's what I was thinking. I thought about that all here's the funny thing. She's been very quiet on Twitter for like the past couple months because this incident happened on Instagram. It was on her Instagram story. Yeah. From my understanding from the news said they told her she needed to chill out with her posts because there was a lot more. She posted a lot of like crazy anti-mask and conspiracy theories, you know, little crazy stuff here. Wasn't ramping up to, you know, the insanity we have today. She was told to chill out. She chilled out. If you go and look at her on her Twitter, she has nothing but like retweets of GIFs and movies and stuff from like the past like 3-4 months. Yeah, she's been very quiet. But on Instagram, she went ahead and unleashed the Gina and posted. What blows my mind is if she would have worded that any differently, it just said, you know, hey, you know, being, you know, it would be much easier to say that being judged of being a Republican today is something, you know, something, not Holocaust, you know, like if she just went ahead and said any other word format, if she would have said hey, it's hard being a Republican today because we're consistently judged because of our previous leader or whatever, you know, if she went with something somewhere, anywhere out of the ballpark, anywhere outside of the Holocaust zone, if she just said like, hey, today, like it's, because, like, I mean, I will admit, Republicans have been getting slammed on, you know, social media and on the news. You know, that's been happening nonstop. I will agree to that. I see that happen all the time. But if she would have went, like, in such, like, a more peaceful, less profound manner, none of this would have happened. She would have been like, hey, it doesn't matter what political party side you're on. You know, we can all treat each other friendly and be friendly to a neighbor. If she would have said something like that, none of this would ever happen. But nah, she compared herself to a Holocaust victim.
I just, and that's the thing, because like I said, you guys earlier, everybody's entitled to their own beliefs. Like a lot of people, they like to look at us and they would see the first 2 minutes we were talking about this and they're like, oh, look at these liberal tards, these libtards over here, blah, blah, blah. When if you actually get to know Gabe and I, you know that we're all over the place on this political spectrum.
Absolutely.
And there's some things that I agree with that Gabe disagrees with and things like that. But you know what? We can come together in the sense that, hey, we're trying to make progress. You know, of course, there are going to be some issues. We're going to have to butt heads, but compromise is what exists. People like Gina and what she did. I know a lot of people like to say, well, you're missing the point. What she's trying to say is exactly what Gabe said. No, what Gabe said, saying, hey, let's just all come together despite our political differences, that is what she should have said.
Yeah.
That's literally all you needed to do. And you're telling me that she, and this is what I don't understand out of all this stuff, right? What I don't get is, because a lot of people they're trying to make this an attack on freedom of speech and being a conservative in Hollywood and being blacklisted. And yes, to an extent, that is true. If you come out here and you express a difference of political opinions in Hollywood, right, or as I like to call Holly weird, you know, they are going to chastise you. That is true. Like there is a blacklist going on when it comes to people who have different viewpoints. Now, that being said, what she said, you can't make this person the hill to die on, because that's literally you saying, all right, what she said was terrible and heinous and abhorrent, but I'm going to champion her and rally behind her because freedom of speech. Like, I'm trying to, like, how in the year 2021 somebody could just look at this, proofread this shit, and be like, send.
Dude, lack of social media manager. I don't know, man. Like, you gotta be. I don't know, dude. I don't know. It's like I said. I mentioned this earlier to you, but it's the same as like the people who can't enter like, you know, convenience stores, grocery stores without a mask, and they go on social media saying that, you know, they're being treated like it's segregation. You know, it's the same exact like wording, like, yes, you are not being allowed, but no, it's not segregation. There's rulings for the reason why you're not allowed in, you know? And it's the same with Gina. Like, yes, we understand what you are trying to say, but what you said was completely wrong and disproportionate.
Exactly. And literally it comes down to how you frame the message. You know, it's not about what the message is per se, but it's how you deliver it. You know, and yes. we know that for everything in life. It's about how you respond, how you react. That's what's more important. And a lot of
perspective is key.
Exactly. You know, and so basically in light of all this stuff, Lucasfilm, they was quick. They didn't miss a beat. They was just like, not again, Gina.
Well, from what I was reading, they were looking for a reason to fire her. From what the agency was saying, they were looking for a reason because of the way she was behaving during like October, September, November, the whole, you know, anti-mask tweets and all that kind of stuff. Like, she got told, from what sources are saying, she got told to chillax, is what I like to call it. And I mean, if you go look on her Twitter, she hasn't really said a damn thing besides sharing, you know,
like retweeting stuff about Star Wars.
Like fan stuff of Star Wars and like movies she's been watching. Like she retweeted like 300 and Dirty Dancing and just shit like that. Like just normal, everyday, normal, you know, people stuff. Right. And so it's been, you know, pretty radio silent. So things were going pretty good for the most part. And then for whatever reason, out of everything she chose to do it on, Instagram stories, she chose to make that post, which
it's like
kind of blows my mind.
It's like she doesn't think that this is going to travel, because people always associate Twitter with the toxicity versus Facebook, which no one really uses anymore, and Instagram, which is just people's photo diaries. That's all it is these days. So Twitter is where a lot of people congregate, and that's where the majority of the discourse is. But still, like especially someone like Gina Carano, which her career, you know, she started on MMA, she branched off into acting, which is always a very risky endeavor because there's only so much they can ride on their name alone. Not everybody can be The Rock. You know what I'm saying? No.
That's literally like 1 in a million, because there's plenty of wrestlers that have started. John Cena, that's a good one. John Cena. I mean, whoa, I can't say that now because he's in the Suicide Squad and he's getting his own TV series. But look at the huge gap though in between. He starred in like a couple movies like here and there.
Fred 2, all that stuff.
That one movie. What was that one movie where he was in the military and they took his wife or some shit and he had to get revenge? I don't. Oh God,
I don't know what that is. That sounds terrible. That sounds terrible.
Somebody wrote that script in 5 minutes. Like
I'm actually gonna look that up right now.
Someone wrote that script on set. Like
they wrote it on the way to the shoot.
Someone had note cards hanging up for his for what he had to say.
Oh, was it? I shit you not, bro. I'm not even bullshitting with the title of this movie where you said he was like something in the Marines. That movie is literally called The Marine.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. Dude, I wanted to say that, but I was like, dude, I don't think that's right. I was like, I don't think I'll let Chris look it up. Right?
Marine,
bro. That's the one, bro.
All right, so fun fact about the Marine.
The Marine was garbage.
The fun fact about the Marine, I don't know if any of y'all in the comments know this, but this thing spawned 5 direct-to-video sequels.
What the fuck?
Do any of them star John Cena? Oh, no, they don't. Bro, look, bro. The Marine 2, the Marine 3 Homefront, the Marine 4 Moving Target.
No.
The Marine 5
it's Battle. It's a franchise. It's a franchise. Oh, my God.
Bro.
Yo, when did the last one come out? 2015?
2018.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. The Miz was in it. Oh, my God.
Dude, these names are so corny. The Marine Close Quarters. The Marine 5 Battleground.
Bro, it's literally like somebody played one match of Call of Duty and they're like, oh, let's take all the vernacular that they say and we're going to make it a movie.
Number, dude, the fourth movie was definitely written on set. The Marine 4 moving target.
Could you imagine that? Like, yo, one ticket for the Marine 4 moving target.
Bro, did you see who the producer is for the first one?
Bro, I'm done. It's literally called the Marine 4 moving target.
The Marine 4. Dude,
Oh.
the producer for the first one's Vince McMahon.
All right, that's where you know shit don't go on left, right there, Vince McMahon.
Oh my god.
Oh, I literally could have gone my whole life without knowing this, and now bro, wow, 5 production company WWE Films.
Oh Jesus, Oh, dude, I'm weak, dude.
All right, so anyway, before we're gonna get sidetracked, anyway. So basically, it's hard for these athletes to break into Hollywood because let's be honest, even The Rock, as charismatic as he is, The Rock is not a great actor. You know,
no, he plays one type of character.
Yeah, and he does it well for what it is. But the only reason we go see movies with The Rock is because we like The Rock. Like, it's not. No one goes to a Rock movie and they're like, "Yo, The Rock his performance transcended the medium." Nah, like. The one movie I love with The Rock the most recently was Central Intelligence, because that's literally him and Kevin Hart being stupid, and it's funny, and I love it.
It's true, man.
But you're telling me, movie. Oh, it absolutely is. But you're telling me when you say The Rock is gonna headline Black Adam, I'm like, oh boy.
I roll.
Yeah, like if people had complaints about Jason Momoa's acting in Aquaman. Y'all ain't ready for that Black Adam movie. That's all I'm gonna say. But anyways, so here you have Gina Carano, right? Back on point. Gina Carano, who, dude, she was in Deadpool. She was in Deadpool. She got into The Mandalorian, and there were rumors about her being attached to that Rangers of the Republic show.
Right.
So are you telling me?
Was it Rangers of the Republic, or did they have a separate show for her, or was it confirmed Rangers? Because I thought the news was saying that it was going to be a show spin-off that they were going to announce during the investors call, and they didn't announce it.
So
and Rangers was announced at the investors call. I'm
hearing conflicting reports. I heard from an equal amount of people saying that she had her own spin-off show, and I'm also hearing a lot of people saying that maybe that spin-off show was actually just her cameoing in the Rangers of the Republic. Regardless of it, it's gone now, which again, it leads to my point.
Yeah.
How do you fumble Mickey Mouse money? That's money. That's residuals. Like, what? Bro, I'm telling you, if I was ever in Hollywood, whatever my political stance is, whatever it is, if it's unpopular, I'm keeping my mouth shut.
Absolutely, dude. Same, bro. If you got the House of Mouse, funding your wallet, dude, dude, she was set, bro. You're telling me you went into a TV series, a Disney Star Wars TV series, and it was very successful, spawned, a second season really quickly, and not even in a year turnaround, they're already in, the works for all these, mini series or new series. And you're already getting the hookups to be in one of those right off the bat. And all you were was a side character in 3 episodes? Dude. In the first season? Bro.
I can't.
You had that shit handed to you on a silver platter. You had it handed to you, stuffed with a fork and shoved in your mouth, and all you had to do was it. And
I love that. I love that. That's a perfect way to describe it. Yeah. Yo, she spit on it and said, "I ordered lasagna, not the pizza," and ruined us. Literally, and I mean, it's her loss at the end of the day. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, well, she has a thriving career as a Fox News political analyst." I don't know what they make over there at these news stations, but that ain't no Mickey Mouse money.
Absolutely not. No, that's not a TV series with limitless seasons. The
limitless seasons, marketing, merchandising rights, paying for your licensing, showing up in the next Battlefront game, and they gotta pay you.
Yo,
Oh my God,
yo, dude, I
fumbled.
didn't think
Oh
of
my,
that. I
yup.
didn't think of that.
Dude,
Oh
because
my.
here's the thing. So here's a news flash for people who don't know how the industry works. If you have something like, let's say, let's just take the Avengers, right? Actors, they make an upfront cost, whatever it may be, but the real money is in a lot of the back end deals. So when you have people who
Yeah.
have clout, like Robert Downey Jr., Robert Downey Jr. gets a high salary for the Avengers movies, but you also know where he gets even more money. Back end deals off of box office grosses when the movies come out. He gets the residuals. He gets paid for his likeness every time they use him on things like action figures, things like that. That's just limitless money that she could have used to pour into her own endeavors, her own production company. That's how these things work. And listen, I get it. Sometimes you have to take a stand for what you believe in. Like that Captain America quote, when the world tells you to move, you plant your feet firmly, you say, no, you move. I understand that. But this ain't it, Chief. This is not it.
This is not your moment.
Not even. Not even, bro. So, I mean, she was not only dropped from Star Wars, but her agency also dropped her. They're like, we ain't representing you, man. Like,
That's a double whammy, dude. You lose your agency and dude, I'm like trying to fathom like what she's thinking right now, and it's like it's got to be like the worst feeling, dude. It has to be. I couldn't imagine, dude. That has to be like the worst feeling you could ever experience, and it sucks. It's like because I mean, me personally, I enjoyed her character. I liked her character. I looked forward to where they were going to be bringing her story in the series. I was looking forward to more of Cara Dune, and honestly, I don't want her recasted. I don't want someone else playing. I don't want. It would be too weird. You already got 2 seasons of the character. I would rather them just replace the character with somebody else, a new character, or just not include her at all. Because for me personally, I don't want anyone else playing her, and I don't want the character to continue on either. So it's like it's definitely like a crappy situation all around. It's like, God damn it, Gina, you couldn't keep your thick mouth shut. Like,
yeah, for real. It's just like, and people in the comments section bring up a good point. There's plenty of conservatives in Hollywood who are able to work in the industry by keeping their mouths shut, and at the same time, they can make movies or TV shows that are conservative without people realizing it. It's just what happened now, and a lot of people are going to hate me when I say this, but that era of Trump really emboldened all of these persecuted Republicans to act out. That's literally what it is. They think they want to be persecuted so bad that they want to act out and not expect consequences.
Absolutely.
And I mean, honestly, we'll just end off with this before we dive into the next topic, because someone here asked a good question. Do you guys think that Disney, Lucasfilm were in the right? Gabe, I'm gonna start with you.
So I'll come back to what Chris was saying earlier. So freedom of speech is also a freedom of consequence. When you have a job like that, you are withheld to what you post and say online. That is your identity. You are a public figure. Everybody knows you. It's not like, 1 million people online, commenting something stupid or saying something dumb and no one's paying attention to. The cameras are eyes on you. You're also under the House of Mouse. And as we all know, the House of Mouse doesn't fuck around when it comes to social media. We all know this. James Gunn, for an example. I mean, he's back, but that's another story. But look, his was something far long ago and got him gatted. And, thankfully he's back. But just to go to example, the House of Mouse doesn't mess around. And they will drop you within a pin needle because they're the House of Mouse. They have money. But I feel like as far as the company and image goes and what her agency and what she was told, I feel like were in the right. It sucks because it's conflicted because it's like, yeah, I want to see the character go. But they're also looking at their imaging because, like, would this character really be the same if everyone else is, viewing this person negatively now because her image, her public image, and so as far as we'll go and say it's a public business. She's a public character, public figure. She was warned. She got told many times, and this was her final straw. I kind of wish a lot more people were kind of like Keanu Reeves and were just kind of chill
Yeah.
on social media. But all I have to say is that as far as Disney firing her, they're 100% in the right. The thing is it wasn't like it was out of the blue. It wasn't like they just were like, you know what, you said something dumb as hell, you gone. It was, she said some stuff, she chilled out, and then she went back to the stuff, and it didn't go without notice. It didn't go without warning. She definitely had the flags thrown in her face, and she chose to ignore the signals. So unfortunately, it is something that she did to herself. And so as far as them firing her, I say they're fully in the right. I mean, they've came down on Mark Hamill for the things he's posted on Twitter in the past before too. So it's not just, a focus on, because Mark Hamill's very liberal, so the very opposite end. So it's not like, Disney's like pick or choose. It's just like when it comes to social media, you have to watch what the hell you say when you're in that image. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, same. I honestly, I agree with you 100%. So I'm not going to rehash exactly what you said. Conservatives, salty conservatives out there, whatever happened to businesses being able to make business choices and that just being it? Like whatever happened to those things? Everyone likes to say like, oh, we're businesses, business that is a business decision at the end of the day. And that's what it is, because you have to represent the brand. And there is one thing I want to add on to, because a lot of people are bringing up the hypocrisy that exists in Hollywood. Listen, I will be the first person to tell you that Hollywood is a very fucked up place. Like that whole Harvey Weinstein shit thing that happened, that's not an isolated incident. Hollywood has joked about that shit for decades, to the point where Ricky Gervais made a joke way before the Harvey Weinstein stuff, and people were joking because everybody knew it was the worst kept secret in the industry. So yes, Hollywood is full of a bunch of hypocrites. But here's the thing. Going forward, if you say people should be held accountable, wouldn't you want people to be held accountable for these things?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when you pick and choose like, oh, this actor said this actor said that, okay, yeah, we can pick and choose, oh, but he said, but why, how is that taking away from anything happening now? So at the end of the day, like hindsight's always 2020. We always know exactly what we're going to do in these situations. But none of us really know what's going to happen unless we were in those shoes. All I can say is this: for those comparing what James Gunn said, which was very, very vile and edgy, and that's like, he was a grown ass man when he tweeted that stuff. He shouldn't have tweeted that stuff. He knew better.
Absolutely.
But that was also in 2008. James Gunn apologized for it, not only in 2000 and
was 10
2008. No, yeah. When he got hired for Guardians, he apologized, which a lot of people forget. And then when he got fired the second time because of the alt-right crowd, he apologized for that too. But the thing is, James Gunn has grown from that. Gina Carano, it's not like we dug up old Instagram posts. She's in the right headspace to make a Holocaust comparison. Like, people don't realize this is not a witch hunt cancel culture. This is literally what she thinks right now. So if James Gunn had, let's say he did Guardians back in 2004 instead of 2014, and he tweeted that kid shit in 2008, of course he deserves to be fucking canceled. Of course. Right. But she did this now. So I don't know. I don't really have sympathy for someone who's just, and also, like, let's just call it like it is. She's a grown ass adult. She knows better.
Right.
She knows better.
She also had people telling her not to.
Right. And
that's
also
the other thing.
Another thing I just add real quick about the brand and the imaging. I mean, she made a Holocaust reference. Gabe, what is one thing that people always like to joke about with Walt Disney himself? That he was a what?
That he was a racist and hated Jewish people. That he was a Nazi.
and you're thinking that this company that's trying to get away from that image would willfully and blissfully ignore her making a Holocaust reference? Like,
no, absolutely not. No, not at all. And as much traction as it got, there's I'm like thinking, is there any logistic way behind it? And it's no. there has been like some weird conspiracy theories, and I'll just go ahead and say they're just conspiracy theories. But there's some people saying, and there's no fact, again, this is just rumors and conspiracies, that one of the reasons she got fired was that Disney was looking for a reason because her and Pedro weren't getting along because of her quote unquote insensitive trans jokes, and Pedro's sister came out as transgender recently. So don't know if that's true or not. I don't think it is. I think it's just speculation, but that was one of the rumors. And, and Disney obviously wanted to protect their golden geese.
Yeah.
So they're going to get rid of, the problematic person. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. That's just a conspiracy that has been thrown on the internet and been talked about. Who knows? But that's just one of the things that I've read.
I guarantee you the usual suspects in the fandom menace are going to be making videos about that theory as fact. You know the ones.
Yeah.
The ones
Yeah.
You know the ones.
My favorites.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, let's move into the next topic of the night, ladies and gentlemen. I did not expect to spend so much time on Gina Carano, but it was a very important topic worth talking about. And it's very good that we actually especially for us, we're both passionate about Star Wars and we can look at things objectively for what they are and also give a little bit of nuance to the fact that, hey, yeah, there is blacklisting going on for conservatives in Hollywood. Don't make that the hill. Don't make that the hill to die on with Gina Carano.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, don't make that your last stand.
Right, exactly. But now moving into the next topic of the night, and I'll have to go ahead and adjust my webcam one more time. This is actually a story that broke last night in regards to the upcoming Last of Us series from HBO.
Yes.
Gabe, you are a fan of The Last of Us, but are you a fan of The Last of Us Part 2?
Yeah, it's that's gonna be my hill to die on.
Facts. I'm gonna join you. I'm gonna join you on that hill. Last of Us Part 2 all day, baby. I love that shit. I love backstory for folks who are unaware. For the longest time, basically since the day after the first Last of Us game came out, Sony has been desperately trying to make this into a live action series because, Sony Pictures, they're desperate for money because all they have is Spider-Man now.
That's good for that. They got Spider-Man.
So they're looking at anything. They're trying to throw everything but the kitchen sink and hoping something sticks. They're doing an Uncharted movie that's 10 years way after the fact that no one is but less said about that, the better. But the Last of Us series has always interested me because, so first it started off with a movie, and Sam Raimi was actually attached to it. I
remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember we were talking about that. I think it was around the time the Warcraft movie was coming out. They said Sam
because you were making fun of me.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't say his last name right.
Oh, yeah, you said Sam. He said his name is Sam Raimi. How does Gabe pronounce it? Sam Rami. Nigga took out a whole I from the name. His name is Sam Rami.
I remember that you were so in disbelief in what I was saying.
It literally, you know what it is? Because we were talking about it, and it literally, like, my head just, like, shot up, like, something is wrong. Like, it's like Sam Rami. I'm like, how?
Right? It's my D&D character.
Right? Sam Rami, director of everyone's favorite movie, Man Spider.
Man Spider 3.
Yo.
The Return of Carnage.
Oh, Lord. Featuring Knuckles. There we go. All right. But yeah, so it was supposed to be a movie spearheaded by Sam Rami.
It's Sam Ribeye.
Sam Ribeye. That's my favorite cut of meat, ribeye. There we go. But Ram Sammy.
Ram Sammy.
But okay, so it was going to be a movie. The movie was gestating in development hell like a lot of these video game movies do. And then all of a sudden, the showrunner from Chernobyl's like, I want to do a Last of Us show. And he's the one who's showrunning this, which is, I don't know if you've seen Chernobyl at all, Gabe.
Yes, I've seen it. It was great.
Yes.
It was really good.
Very show.
Definitely powerful. Very good show.
Yes, very powerful. And so the second they announced he was showrunning it, I got intrigued. And then
Same.
Naughty Dog was working very closely with HBO on this, which gave me a little bit of confidence. Not much, considering they're also hyping the Uncharted movie, which that movie's going to blow. And I'm just waiting for people to see that.
Let me just say, they have to hype it. They have to. They can't sit there.
know.
It's their IP. They can't be like, yeah, it's it's pretty good. It's good. I like it. Tom Holland, good actor. Like,
yeah. Tom Holland, everyone's favorite actor to play everyone. Tom Holland cast in the Cliff of the Red Dog movie.
Mark Wahlberg does good. Nice mustache, good scenes.
What can fans expect? Well, it's a fun summer blockbuster, and popcorn is amazing movie theater snacking.
Mm-hmm. Everybody's gonna love it. You got something in this movie. There's something for the fans. There's something for the new fans. There's something for people who've never seen it.
Okay,
you guys are gonna love it.
Okay, Ray Fisher. All right.
I want my DC apology.
Change is coming. ...
The R-rating in Justice Leagues for revenge.
more at 11. So they announced they're doing this series. It's been quiet for a while, considering, it takes a while for these things to get off the ground.
Yeah.
But we just got casting, and we actually, within the span of 24 hours, we have our leads. Both of them Game of Thrones alumni. So playing the role of Ellie, this is the first story that broke. We have Bella Ramsey, and starring as Joel. Now, here's the funny thing about Joel is there was actually some controversy beforehand, which we'll touch on a little later. But starring as Joel, the man himself,
Mandalorian.
Life is good, but it could be better.
It could be better.
Pedro Pascal, this is just so funny. How is it that Gina Carano gets fired from Star Wars, and here you have Pedro Pascal getting hired in HBO? Dude, Where's my Thanos gift? Perfectly balanced, as all things
exactly.
should be.
Yeah, exactly. She died on that hill to give him his rights.
Right. Okay, so before we dive into the controversy that happened, because it's not that big of a deal, but Gabe, what do you think about this casting, bro?
I'm happy with it. I will say this, I'm a little iffy on Ellie, more or less the looks than acting, but I've seen Game of Thrones. I liked her character a lot in Game of Thrones. So as far as acting goes, and then I've seen her in His Dark Materials, also another HBO series, kind of funny. She's now in multiple HBO series. I liked her in there too. So as far as to go to say, I'm fine with the casting. I don't really honestly, if I'm gonna complain, it's just me nitpicking. And I know there's a lot of people nitpicking because, when we get like these video game movies and these like adaptations, everybody, I'm saying everybody, I don't care who you are, we all have this mental image when we play a game of who would be the perfect character if there was ever to be a live action. I don't want to say anyone says that they don't do that, because everybody does that. I'm not gonna lie, when I played The Last of Us, I always thought, like, in my head, Hugh Jackman would be a great Joel. Just the imaging and the looks and stuff like that. But as far as everything goes, I'm completely solid with the cast. I know there's a lot of people who are like, oh, Pedro Pascal, but like, guys, his acting range is, first of all, phenomenal.
Yes.
If you've seen Narcos, you've seen Mandalorian, you've seen Game of Thrones, if you've seen even it's poorly received Wonder Woman, and you saw him in Wonder Woman, that guy was a whole new character in that damn movie. Like, I'm excited for it, honestly. I'm really looking forward to see what they're going to look like when the costumes set in place, when the actors have their looks set in place, as far as hairstyles, facial hair, yada yada yada. So as far as these two go, I'm solid. There's really nothing for me to complain about without me going into like nitpicking.
Yeah, same here. I'm actually not too disgruntled with the casting of Ellie. I mean, it's very hard to get the look of the characters out of your mind, especially when you create these fan lists where you would be like, oh, this person would be so perfect. Because at the end of the day, yes, looks do matter to a character, absolutely. But if you can get like 80% of the way and the acting and the scripting is on point, I don't care if they look marginally different. Because like, look at like even some of the Marvel characters when they were cast in the MCU. Yes, you're going. Yeah. Yes, you're going from comics and animation to live action, so they would look different. But I mean, it just works really well. Like Chris Evans, for example, he doesn't look exactly like Captain America in the comics. He's not as big as Captain America in the comics, but we still buy him as Captain America because the scripting and the characterization is great. So I'm actually happy that they went with talent. They have a great showrunner. They've got great actors. I mean, Pedro Pascal, this guy, him and Oscar Isaac are in their motherfucking bag right now. I know that's probably a sign of pride for you, man, that these guys are literally getting their show running. Like Oscar Isaac, Moon Knight, Oscar Isaac, Metal Gear Solid, Pedro Pascal,
killing it.
Pedro Pascal's in Wonder Woman, Narcos, a freaking Game of Thrones. Like it's just they're just flexing for fun. And this honestly,
wait for that future Pedro Pascal MCU debut character. Waiting for that announcement,
dude. Oh my god, if they can just get him in scenes with Oscar Isaac, I don't care what character he plays, I need to see that. Because if you guys ever want to watch something funny, just go watch interviews with Oscar Isaac and Pedro Pascal. These two, you would never know that they play such serious characters if you see how they act.
Not at all.
Straight up. So I'm definitely for this casting. There was a bit of controversy leading into Joel's casting because 12 hours beforehand, there was a rumor that Mahershala Ali, who you guys, I don't even have to mention this name, one of the finest talents in all of Hollywood.
Absolutely.
There were rumors that he was not cast as Joel, which is very important. He was offered the role of Joel, which a lot of people have to differentiate. A lot of people just offer the role and they think, oh my God, that means they're going to play it, right?
No,
so
it's offered.
Right. So when I saw that listing, the report that came out, I was like, no, don't do that. And I'll tell you why. It's not because, and this is even a slight with Pedro Pascal too, even though he looks more like Joel's whatever. This Last of Us series, even though I'm excited because of the talent that's behind it, part of me, regardless of who they cast, it doesn't even matter at this point, Pedro, Belly Ramsey, whatever, part of me is worried about what kind of story they're going to tell with these characters, because Naughty Dog's games, you know, for better or for worse, they're very cinematic experience. They feel like you're watching movies. And the arc that we went on with Joel and Ellie, it was great for how they crafted it with the game. The way you craft a game story is very different than how you craft a TV show or movie. And so I'm just looking at this casting and I'm like, oh my God, amazing actor Mahershala Ali. He's got to be delivering the same lines that Troy Baker gave. Like what kind of story are they going to tell where it can be fundamentally different from the game, where you get a separate experience while at the same time staying true to it? Like for me, when I think of a Last of Us series, I don't think of it Joel Ellie. I'm thinking, do something about the world, similar to what they did with The Walking Dead. You had the Walking Dead comic, you had the TV show, but then you had the Telltale game. The Telltale game has references and nods to those other shows, other aspects of The Walking Dead, but it has an original character, which meant that they weren't limited with the storytelling. The storytelling of The Walking Dead was just the backdrop. So, I mean, I'm excited for it because I think they want to get this right, because if they screw this up, it's over. Like, just cancel every other video game production that isn't Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Just cancel all of those things, because they can't do that. So Mahershala Ali, when I said I wouldn't want him cast in it, it's not because he's black. Whoa, hello? Why wouldn't I want this amazing, talented black actor who's a proven like hit, Academy Award winning, like
after hit for his acting?
Exactly. Like, you put Mahershala Ali in anything and I will watch it, right?
Exactly.
So I just don't want someone like him of his caliber being wasted on a characterization that we already know. And I understand that, okay, this isn't for the fans of the game. This is for the people who have never played The Last of Us. True. I understand that there's millions of people who haven't played it. There are people who just watch HBO and they see Last of Us like, oh, I don't know what this is. Let's check this out. If it was just going to be a carbon copy retread, even if it is a different medium and it is going to be inherently different, I'm just looking at that and I'm thinking, how much better would it have been if Mahershala Ali was his own original written character rather than living in the shadow of Troy Baker as Joel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And before people get it twisted, the same rule applies for Pedro Pascal. So don't think it's just because it's a black thing.
Right.
But yeah, was there anything else you wanted to say as far as this goes? I mean, this is all the news we've gotten on The Last of Us show in
Yeah.
in like almost a year.
Yeah, for the most part, I mean, after a couple like fumblings around, from the director announcements to, that's it. I mean, besides, switching from movie to TV series to, newer directors. I mean, other than that, no. I mean, as far as like what you said, I agree to that too. I honestly wouldn't mind him to either play someone who's either newer or just not in it at all, like one or the other. Like, wouldn't want him to just to be, thrown over another character just to live in the shadow of another character. I'd want him to play his own original fun character, especially not to waste a character like that on where a world where people drop dead so quickly. So I would want them to make like an original unique character for him, because we don't know if this is going to be like a 1-season show, 2-season show, 3-season show. Like we honestly don't know, like if it's just a mini series like Chernobyl, we don't know like what the caliber of the show is. So, I'm in the same ballpark as you. I was thinking more or less the same thing too. Like, cause I was like, honestly, I was fine with it when they said he was playing Joel. I was like, whatever, they're going to do a black Joel. Oh, well, I mean, not gonna ruin the game or movie show series, but I don't want him to live in this character's outlining. I want him to be a unique character, because I already know Joel's character, and it's a story that doesn't end too well.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of which, bro, can we just address the fact, what is it with Pedro Pascal and getting his head exploded? Why does he keep picking these roles? First Game of Thrones, and now this.
No! Yo!
Yeah. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, if the series finale of Mandalorian ends with him getting his skull crushed, I'm just like, he's the new Sean Bean.
Yo, with Sean Bean with his head being crushed, dude. No.
Exactly, bro. All right, so that's pretty much all we want to say about The Last of Us show. We'll definitely do updates as we hear more about it. And of course, when the trailer drops, we'll give our stances on it. Now moving into the third topic for tonight. Let me just adjust this camera one more time. And I kind of thought that we were done talking about Cyberpunk, Gabe.
Me too.
I thought we had said our piece when the game came out. I thought we had said our piece with the refunds and all that. But
I had my P's and Q's and all I had to throw out there.
But it's the gift that keeps on giving. But this one is definitely more on a somber note. So I'm going to let you introduce this one, Gabe, because you have a lot to say about this one, way more than me. So go ahead.
Yeah, like, okay, so as we all know, if you up to date in the news, which this has been like breaking news almost every single news outlet, but, Project got hacked by ransomware. If you guys don't know what ransomware is, it's basically a program that takes over your computers. It's very easy to happen to anybody. All you have to do is accidentally click on a wrong thing or download a zip file. So literally anybody can do it. Intern, staff member, anybody. Ransomware, really easy to do if you are working on a network for a company and you guys have people that are running, systems day after day. They're also remote. So that's another thing too to put considered. So they got hacked by ransomware, took over some of their drives, and they got their source codes taken. Source code is a really, really, really big fucking deal when it comes to games. If you guys don't know what source coding is the actual infrastructure of the whole game that they coded together that goes through a compiler and creates the game engine. So basically any game you played, like Ubisoft's Anvil, Frostbite, all those engines and stuff, those game worlds that they designed, those are all based off of a source coding that they designed themselves. It's almost nearly impossible to hack source coding because when source coding goes through the compiler, it jumbles it all up. So the best way to explain it, it's like knitting together a sweater and then sending it through a paper shredder. It's there, but it's in millions of different pieces. So when it comes to source coding, it's a really, really big deal. It's why, like, when games are dead, or do we call them like abandonware, they release the source coding so people can do something with it, so they can add on to it. Like, for example, like a lot of like dead MMOs like Star Wars Galaxies, even like classic WoW before it became classic WoW. Like a lot of those games have their source coding, but a lot of those are basically widely available because those games are server-sided games. So when it comes to source code, it's a big deal. It's the baby of your game. It's the heart, brain, it's the soul of the game. So the hackers got a hold of the source code for Cyberpunk and Witcher 3. A lot of people are like, and they don't think it's a big fucking deal. They basically have their whole game world, like, entirely. Like, they have a carbon copy of it. Yeah, they would have to go through, animate, do everything like that, but they have it. And it was stolen, and they had 48 hours to follow their demands, and they sold it for $1 million. And now the reasoning for the hack comes down to them being upset with Cyberpunk 2077. And all I have to say to that is, you have to be a very sad and pathetic individual to take a game that's not even real. It's a hobby. It is a entertainment product that you buy, you're upset with it, and you feel like you need to take out that anger, that obsession to a whole nother level to prove your point for whatever reasoning or, mental illness that you have. So they went ahead, stole everything, and sold it. And a lot of people are like, oh, why are people feeling bad? They are kind of in a really fucked situation. Like, their whole livelihood is basically on the internet right now. So what that basically means is whoever bought it can basically edit it to a point where it's not exactly a copy, so it's not infringement. And as long as they can't be proven or found guilty of infringement on a source code, because there is copyright laws on source codes as well, if they were to sell it to any company, and we know how corporations are, so I'll give an example. EA could do some scummy shit, which, like I said, I won't hold any of these, corporations accountable, but it wouldn't surprise me if somebody would do it. Or, for example, right now, China's a really big in the gaming market, which wouldn't be surprising if that's who bought it. But they can basically edit it just enough to not make it exact carbon copy and make whatever they want with it. So I know a lot of people feel like, oh, why should you feel bad for Cyberpunk or Project CD Red? They released Cyberpunk. It's a crappy game. Well, just because they release a crappy game does not mean that they need their whole company's livelihood to be taken from them and like almost like destroyed in like 48 hours. I was going to say not even 2 days. So it's 48 hours. In 48 hours, like that's absolutely insane. And there's people online that think that they deserve like this judgment. And like me and Chris, we had a lot to say about Cyberpunk. We were I would say pretty harsh for the most part, but we don't hate Project CD Red. We don't think they're like these these Nazis, these medieval MacGyvers making these torture devices to ruin our lives. They just released a crappy game, we reviewed it, moved on, whatever. But there's people that are so upset from this whole situation that have blown up this like awful release into something like that's not even that serious. Like, I don't know about me, y'all, but when it comes to crappy products, crappy movies, crappy series, crappy anything, if it's crap, I move on from it. It sucks. I wasted money on it. And in this case, everybody got a refund. For the most part, if you didn't like the game, you got a refund. So there's literally no hard feelings. Some people are saying that, oh, they were robbing us, they were bleeding us dry of money. Y'all got a refund. So I don't want to hear it. If y'all didn't get a refund, that's on your fault, because Xbox gave it, PlayStation gave it, Steam gave it. Project CD Red posted on Twitter, Facebook, their website that, hey, if Microsoft, Sony, any of these guys ain't giving you a refund, we will give you the refund. You guys can keep the game, yada yada. They even let people keep the goddamn game, and people are like all upset over the whole like gaming laws. Well, like when it comes to physical media, I don't know if you guys know this, but for anything that is packaged, it's under a copyright law. If anything's open, it cannot be returned because of copyright piracy laws. It's just it's a legit actual law that states that none of that stuff can be returned because of piracy, because someone come home, copy it, yada yada. It's been that way for eons. So the fact that they were just like, if you already opened the game and they were just giving you your money back, speaks volumes. Personally, that's going to be an L on them because they can't get money back off of a physical release if you played it, but they're giving you cash back. And I've seen the videos. We've all seen the videos of games of people being upset. I've seen the videos of people being upset at 2K and screaming at the poor GameStop guy who's just there for his 5-hour shift and they want a refund and they can't get it. Cyberpunk Project CD Red, they went ahead, gave you your refund. So at this point, I couldn't understand why like people went this far with these actions. I think it's really sad. I actually think it's kind of like in the realm of being a coward, but it's said, done. But as far as it goes, I think it's probably a very depressing thing because I'd like to think of it as a way of like, imagine you just got a car and someone just drove off with your car. Like imagine like someone just like showed up, took your car, left, and you just bought this brand new car. It's kind of not exactly the same, but it's probably around the same feeling. Like their one and only baby is, and of course they have copies of it, but now someone else can make their same product. So now it's ground zero from them. But that's all I gotta say. What about you, Chris?
Yeah, this whole situation, and here's the thing. A lot of people, they like to say that we were being way too harsh on CD Projekt Red and blah, blah, blah. Like, people like to give excuses. And I don't think that we were harsh at all, considering the amount of time we waited and the fact that we spent $60 on this game. I'm sorry, but I don't have time to wait for a game to get good. Like, I don't know how some people can buy a game for $60, wait 2-3 years for it to be fully patched. Like, that's why I don't like games as a service. And Cyberpunk was a glorified games as a service where you wait for it to get fixed. But you want to know what happened, you guys? I said my piece on it. We did our podcast. I returned my copy. I cracked a couple jokes here and there. But after December, mid-December, I moved on from it. I might have done.
You didn't talk about a single thing about Cyberpunk.
Yeah, I talked about like one or two things maybe, but other than that, I would just be retweeting stuff for the folks who are playing Cyberpunk. Like, hey, this hot fix is out for those interested. Here's the timeline of when the next gen patch is coming. Like, that's all I would do because I don't know if it's because I'm getting older. I just, frankly, this has never been the type of person I am, but I can't continue to be negative about something on a consistent daily basis.
I'm right there with you, man. Right there with you.
I'd rather say my piece about it, rant, and then move on to something more positive. So after the whole Cyberpunk debacle, you want to know what I did? I went back and I started playing more of my games that give me enjoyment. So this whole situation, like, yes, it is terrible that it happened, and CD Projekt Red should be ashamed of launching a game in this state. Management, all those people deserve to be fired. But after that, like, what more do you get by doing this? This is not going to help you get a better game. I know people like to say, well, we have to cause them pain. You're not causing them pain. This is not
a Naruto arc.
Yeah, exactly. Like, now this world shall know pain. You're not getting anything from this. Like, you're killing the morale of the company by doing this, because when they said, like, okay, we're going to fix the game, and they've been working tirelessly to fix the game, which good on, like, I'm not giving them a pass by saying, yes, I'm glad that you're fixing your game that you released broken for $60. No, but I'm saying they're committed to fixing it, which, okay, let them do their thing. And then
which is more than what I would say some companies with their games would do as well, too. I mean, not saying that, you need a pat on the back to fix your games, but I can list like 5 games right off the top of my head that were a broken mess and never got fixed, and it's just dust on the case now.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're not sitting here defending them for fixing a game. They're obligated to fix the game. But when I see people out there say that, oh, it's great that they've been hacked, like, people, when somebody is hacked and the data is stolen, it wasn't just the source code. a lot of the company's personal and private information was stolen. So that's things related to human resources, people's accounts and their addresses and all that stuff that should not be leaked to the public. How is having access to that and selling that, like, how is this going to get you a better CD Projekt Red game? Like, I don't see it. I don't.
No, like, and that's another thing. Like, the biggest thing is, like, people always go and, like, blame, like, developers, things that people don't understand. Like, in the game, the developers just make the game. They are paid salary, hourly associates who have bosses. It's any other job. Like, I'll give you an example. If you go to a Walmart and that Walmart's crappy, you're going to say that Walmart's the worst company in the world because you had a bad experience at the one Walmart. So now all the other Walmarts got to be shut the hell down. Like, that's the way it's being treated. And it's like, these developers, they just make the game. That's all they do. They just make the game. They create it. They get told what to do. They have investors, management. Management's like, do this, and this. Obviously, their management team's garbage, right?
Yeah.
Their management team's trash. Management's not on Twitter. Investors are not on Twitter. It's the devs. So devs get all the flack and take everything for everything. Where management is behind the black glass screen in the FBI room, laughing, collecting money.
Well, I think in the case of CD Projekt Red, to be fair, I think one of the main guys, the lead guy, what's his name, is on Twitter, and he was actually liking a lot of tweets from pro CD Projekt Red fans saying that you guys should be grateful. So I think as a general rule, yes, you're right. But with him, I'm just like, no, this guy's bad. He's got to go. He's got to go.
So, yeah, I mean, bad management right there. There you go.
Yeah.
So, like, the thing is like, this is Cyberpunk's old news now. Like, honestly, I know it came out just a couple months ago, but news travels fast. Games come and go.
Yeah.
Like, chop. It's time to wrap it up, move on. Like,
right.
The fact that someone went through all this time to make a program, figure out how they're going to get it in there, how they're going to get ransomware on their computer, figure out, their motives, what they're going to do, yada, yada, yada. The fact someone went so far to do this just shows that, like, how out of touch, at least us as people are when it comes to games.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I feel like that everybody needs to take a minute sometimes to just breathe, step away from social media, step away from YouTube, the TV, something, and realize these are just hobbies. It's okay to be passionate about a hobby. It's okay to love it. It's okay, you know, like fanboys. It's okay to be a fanboy if you're a fanboy. You know, I'm a Star Wars fanboy, you know.
Yeah.
So it's okay to be a fanboy. But at the same time, it's okay to also realize these are just works of fiction.
Mm-hmm.
These are just made up for our entertainment. And if you don't like it, no one's saying you have to stick around for it.
Yep. And
that's the problem here, is that people want to stick around for stuff they don't like. You don't have to stick around. Like, if you didn't like Cyberpunk 2077, you didn't have to stick around for it. So the fact that blows my mind is someone really sat there and stewed over this on how they were going to commit this divine justice on Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
And would try to come up with a way to, you know, like even the note they left in the notepad was super cringe. I don't know if you read it.
Yeah,
it was some shit out of /r on 4chan, dude. Like,
it looks so fake. It, like, at first people were saying, is this like an early April Fool's Day prank? Because why would this company? Because, you know, with CD Projekt Red, they post a lot of memes, you know, or they did before this Cyberpunk thing happened, and then they actually became a meme, which is, it's funny how it's like poetry, it rhymes, you know.
Yeah.
But if you looked at first, I didn't believe it. I thought this was like, are they advertising the Cyberpunk DLC or something? I didn't want to believe it. Yeah. But
it's a good DLC start, like talking about their company being hacked. It's a good It's a good advertisement,
Yeah.
good marketing scheme.
Exactly. So, I mean, honestly, it's like there are a lot of things in this life that I hate that I just cannot stand, but I just don't care about it. Like, for example, Michael Bay, Paul W.S. Anderson, what they do to beloved franchises. I literally, I don't hate people like that, but I hate the fact that they do that and they keep getting to do that. It pains me. But you want to know what I do? I make a tweet saying this movie's going to be garbage, and then I move on. That's literally what I do. I don't see the movie. I don't watch it just to like trash it. I just move on. That's what it is. But people just can't go ahead and separate the two,
Yeah.
And that's what kills me, because it's like a lot of these people are grown-ass adults who could be using their time to... I'm not even saying you should be using your time to do something better, but if you had to tell me, would you rather make 20 videos this month about, I don't know, hating on Brie Larson or playing 20 of the best video games of all time over this month? I'm going to play the 20 best video games of all time, whereas a lot of these Star Wars channels, you already know what they're about to do.
Yeah. Brie Larson canceled by Lucasfilms. Kathleen Kennedy, and Brie Larson taking over Lucasfilms. Bob Iger has appointed Brie Larson as the new president of Lucasfilm. Kathleen Kennedy's contract expiring.
I love how one person said Brie Larson cast in Star Wars movie The End of Star Wars as We Know It, and then 2 weeks later Brie Larson fired from Untitled Star Wars movie. I was like, wait, what the fuck? I didn't even know this movie existed.
She was up for a role in Star Wars movie and the movie's already canceled?
Yo, I don't know, but yes.
When did this happen?
It's like those type of people, you just like, you look at them and you're just like,
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just like, those people, man, like, and I don't know if this like has a play in it. I don't know if like quarantine really has a play in it, where like
possibly,
people
wilding.
We're on side, people wilding out, but the biggest thing is like we now rely on like everything inside your home to entertain you.
Yeah.
So like, I will say this: Cyberpunk was probably really pressured because there ain't shit last year. I mean, there was PlayStation titles, obviously, but
you had overpriced Mario collections. That's
the overpriced. You had Chris, it's a Mario port.
Nigga, they you know what they do with that? They control C, control V. That's what they did. Dude,
someone, I know we're going on topic here, but somebody went into the files of it on their computer. Dude, they were straight up ROMs. Like, I don't know if you saw that, but they were straight up ROMs, dude. Like 100%. Like, there was the only thing that was changed in there was the resolution just to fit on like, current technology. Like that's it. They were goddamn ROMs, guys.
So what they did was the classic anime YouTuber in 2008 where they take a 4x3 anime and then they just crop it so it's widescreen or some dumb shit like that. Oh god,
dude. Yeah, dude. Freaking boy. They were ROMs, bro. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but
they did that on the Super Nintendo, the NES Online shit. Those are ROMs and people found them out, yet they were banning ROM websites. They use ROMs from ROM websites.
Bro, they sent, dude, this shit wouldn't surprise me. I 100% bet you they would send a cease and desist over to those people, claim assets for whatever they have. They're like, hey, yo, we're going to sue you guys for this much money, or you guys just hand over everything you got to us. Obviously, the latter is going to be like, yeah, because who can afford to go to court against Nintendo? And then they're like, sweet, now we got all these ROMs these peasants made for us. Let's make this shit on the Switch now and change the resolution, because the guys did have to work. It would not surprise me at all, bro.
Absolutely.
It would not surprise me at all.
Nintendo would be like, we'll send a cease and desist, and instead of suing you, we're just going to take your website. That's what they did. But yeah, the whole Cyberpunk CD Projekt Red hacking situation, I mean, whatever helps these people sleep at night. What they're doing is they're spewing such vitriol, but they're acting so virtuous in the process, which is an oxymoron.
Exactly. 100%, dude. They are prolonging something that's already over and done with. Like, everybody got their refunds. The news is out there. Everyone knows about the game. Game's been on sale for $30 already. The damage and everything that happened is done.
Yeah.
It's over and it is done. And people are saying like, well, Project shouldn't have robbed us of our money. Well, they didn't rob you of your money. Yeah, they released a shitty, unfinished game, but you got a refund back. You know, it's a product. It's a product. You know, we all anytime you buy anything, you're making a risk because it's a product.
I understand where you're coming from with that, Gabe, but to be fair, they did deceive people. I'm not saying that justifies this, but they did deceive people. Like we didn't know until we got the game that this shit was broken. So
you're right. I'm not saying they didn't deceive.
Yeah, of course.
I know that the demo that they released was a made up demo. You know, it was a
vertical slice.
It was basically a video for the most part. You know, I know all that's. You know, I know all that stuff was completely deceived. I'm not saying that they didn't deceive us at all. But what I'm saying is that
when you get down to it, it's like
when you get down to it, everything was
on.
fixed. You got your refund, yeah, move on. Like it's the same guy screaming at the cashier for not accepting his expired coupons. The manager comes over. The manager comes over, still approves the expired coupons, but then the guy wants to go on about it and wants to talk to corporate. Like, dude, it's over, done with, move on. Yep. And it's like the same situation. Like, yeah, we got misled, lied to, but the thing is, that
we got hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok, and flat out deceived. You got to get all 5 in there.
Sorry, dude. We got left butt ass naked on the side of the road with, you know, nothing to drink or eat.
Not even, man. But yeah, it's just, I mean, I wish all the best to the CD Projekt Red staff.
Same here, dude. Absolutely. I wish the best to developers. I hope this gets solved quickly. I hope something, because the thing is like when I go when I do like cybersecurity training, stuff like that, like this stuff goes on like a big investigation. Like people don't realize like how far out this is gonna go and how long it's gonna be drawn out. Like this is gonna be like federal, depending on who's involved.
Yeah,
you know, with the case, whether it's, you know, something over here, something in another country.
It could be, it goes international. It goes international.
And
it involves Interpol and shit. Yeah.
As far as at least in the United States, it is a felony crime with prison time. And I could say I do know someone who has served prison time for doing stuff like that before. So, you know, don't go and saying it's not a small thing, because I mean, yeah, it is a minuscule crime. You know, it's not like you walked up to the 7-Eleven, shot the cashier, got an icy, and took the cash out of the drawer. You know. But,
oh damn! You're talking about my Saturday night. Oh snap!
Oh, that's where you were at.
Yeah, right. Alrighty, but anyways, you ready to move on to our fourth and final main topic of the night, Gabe?
Yeah.
All right, y'all.
Absolutely.
So moving on to our fourth and final main topic. It's so crazy because originally when Gabe and I were recording this, we were just like, all right, we're going to have to finagle our way into some topics. Like, what happened over the past month? And I love how literally all within the span of 2 days, we've got all our topics for today's episode, which is like they're looking out for us. But now moving into our final topic of the night, we're going to end this.
I'm shaking my rain stick, that's why.
Rain in Arizona. Gabe, come on now.
Bless, please. Sorry, man. I like fairy tales.
Right? So moving into our fourth and final main topic, and we're going to end this on a really celebratory high note. Final time I'll adjust my camera for this stream. Boom, ladies and gentlemen. And before we dive into the topic, we've actually got a $5 super chat coming in from Mr. Asbel Launt 100, big supporter of the channel. Thank you so much, brother. He says, Final Fantasy 15 was real bad on release, but no one was acting like they are now for Cyberpunk 2077. And they got refunds for it. CD Projekt Red fans are lucky here, really. And absolutely, that's true. Like I said, before people try to clip this and say that we're hypocrites, no one is sitting here and defending the state that the game launched in. Yes, they should be taken to task for it. But considering that we already got our refunds, we've already moved on to bigger and better things. Like, I don't want to sit here and continue to complain about CD Projekt Red. Like, it's just, unless they keep doing fucked up shit, that's when we can complain.
Well, they ain't gonna be doing anything for a while right now, but yeah, that's all I gotta say.
They've been keeping low key. So Asbel, thank you so much for your super chat, brother. And speaking of Asbel, it's actually a great segue because Asbel is a JRPG character, and we're gonna talk about some JRPGs on PC.
Yeah.
Gabe, always a good sign. The past 10 years have been really great for Japanese games on PC. But there was one series amidst Dragon Quest, Final Fantasy, Tales. Now we have Persona on PC. One series that has remained elusive until today. Ladies and gentlemen, we are proud to announce that the entire Kingdom Hearts franchise from 1.5, 2.5, 2.8,
Yes.
Kingdom Hearts 3,
Yes.
Remind, and the
Give me those
recently...
crazy numbers.
Yep,
Yeah.
all of them, like 2-4, double back, triple assist, like whatever you want to call it, featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series, which is now a possibility because Kingdom Hearts is coming to PC. Ladies and gentlemen, let's just... round of applause right there. There we go. That's what we're talking about right now, man.
We are in full circle. I mean, there ain't no Switch version, but we in a circle.
Yep. So this was just announced at the Epic Store showcase they had where they were announcing a lot of new games. Basically, a lot of things to piss off Steam fanboys. That's essentially what the showcase was.
Basically.
And the biggest bombshell of the event was the entire Kingdom Hearts series is coming to PC for the first time in just a couple of weeks, Gabe, which is absolutely insane. What do you think about this, bro?
I'm excited, dude. It's honestly, I'll put it this way. If you would have told me Kingdom Hearts was going to be on Xbox, I would have told you you're fucking ridiculous. If you would have told me that Kingdom Hearts was going to be on PC, you would have to rename myself, slap me around, throw me off a goddamn cliff, and tell me my name's Charlie, because that shit would never happen.
Are they going to yell at you while they throw you off the cliff? Charlie!
They're going to yell at me and call you Charlie? Bro, like, dude, it's amazing. It's honestly amazing, bro. Like, first off, there's the potential to be on PC, but bro, like, if you would have told me like 5-6 years ago, hey man, Kingdom Hearts is going to be fully playable on PC, I'd be like, well, you gotta fuck me stupid and call me Charlie, dude, because that ain't gonna ever happen. Well, someone's knocking at the door and I'm in trouble tonight.
Yep. And real quick, we've got another $4.99 super chat coming in from Corey Gryffindor, another longtime supporter, big Kingdom Hearts fan. He's actually who donated for me to stream Remind and also the boss battles as well. So he says, Chris, your dream...
Dude, Final Fantasy 13 is Chris's favorite game. He literally advocated how great that game was. I went out and bought it myself and played it. Like, guys, if you haven't played Final Fantasy 13, go out there and play Final Fantasy 13.
So is that what y'all did today? Y'all woke up on the morning of February 11th, 2021, in the year of the Lord 2021, and you just lie and donate money to slander people on stream. That's what we're doing? That's what we're doing this year. All right, but anyways,
coming here.
Anyway, so what Corey Gryffindor said, trifling ass, Chris, your dream came true, and now you can mod your girl Lightning as a party member. I don't even know where this meme started. Like, why do people say I stand this? I don't understand how this started, man.
Because you told me you're into pink-haired white women with daddy issues. You told me that.
When? I'm trying to think. I'm into MILFs, bro. If you can find me a pink-haired MILF with daddy issues, that's a different story. But anyways, thank you for the super chat, Corey. Appreciate it. And yeah, so Kingdom Hearts is coming to PC. I mean, yeah, we're big Kingdom Hearts fans. I mean, I've got the Keyblades on my car ring keychain. I've got a ton of Kingdom Hearts stuff here. I went to the Kingdom Hearts Orchestra when it was in New York, and I bought this little conductor's baton that they used for the final song. Y'all don't even want to know how much money I paid for this thing. Yes.
How much did you pay for that?
So this, and including, I don't even know why I like to say that the stand came with it, but this with the little stand.
You want to justify your purchase, that's why.
I'm not even, but the stand.
It came with a stand.
Okay, but the stand does have Kingdom Hearts Orchestra World Tour engraved in it, so whatever that's worth. In addition to this nice little collector's box that came from that was, I think,
This
made.
man trying to hype it up, man. This man can sell snake oil to a snake oil salesman.
Oh my god! But yeah, so basically, I got all this because it was a memento, it was memorabilia, and they don't sell this shit anymore. I paid $100.
Oh my god! Oh my god! I can tell you, there's so many better things I can spend $100. Oh my god, Chris.
Like, yeah, you could buy 100 things from a dollar store. You could buy 100 things from McDonald's
Oh,
dollar menu.
I could buy $100 worth of Kingdom Hearts merch that's better than that.
But you know what? You can't buy this anymore. Oh!
But you go on Etsy and I'll find me a carbon copy.
Man, you gonna find a carbon copy. I've got the genuine article. Because you know what he says, man? There can't be two Keyblade wielders.
Yeah,
I have the only one.
Get that needle dick keyboard out of the way.
Bro, I'm telling you. But anyways, back to what we were saying.
Get that needle dick keyboard off camera.
This man said needle dick. I'm done. But anyways, Kingdom Hearts, it's a dope franchise. I love when more people can play this series and just experience how fucking insane it is. And it's insane in all the best and worst ways possible.
Yes.
So
yes, it's dude, you can't even like another game you can't even explain to people. What's
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts about? Bro, like I straight up got that Windows loading sign when someone asked me that, bro. Like I'm like Disney, Final Fantasy, Keyblade, anime characters, abilities, crazy boss fights, music.
time travel.
Wow, time travel.
Everyone is also this one villain, but at the same time they're not this villain. Bro, Kingdom Hearts is insane, and if you keep playing the games, you understand how convoluted it gets. But
Dude.
it's still dope. It's my ultimate comfort food series. I love, like, dude, when Kingdom Hearts came to Xbox and they put the games on Game Pass, I played it just to see how it runs on Xbox. And by the way, it runs best if you're playing on consoles on Xbox, which is very fucking weird. Because it's a PlayStation series, but
weird.
It runs best on
weird.
Xbox. That's so weird. Except for
Except
for one weird error that happens.
looking for an Xbox, bro. Those things don't exist.
They don't, man. It's crazy. But Kingdom Hearts, the more platforms the series is available on, the better. And one thing I do love about Square Enix, even though we always like to call them Port Enix, but they are great at game preservation. The fact that they keep bringing these games forward to new platforms, that means more people can play it. And also, the more time progresses, you still have access to those games. Because if they were stuck on the PS2, I'm gonna tell you how fucked we would have been. Because
dude, absolutely, bro. Oh, dude, I couldn't even imagine like trying to get somebody into Kingdom. Imagine Kingdom Hearts 3 came out and they couldn't play 1 or 2 or any others. Like, yo, you gotta go to a pawn shop or the 99-cent store, Family Dollar, buy yourself a PlayStation 2 and find these games somewhere in the dark realm of the eBay, because that shit's impossible to find.
Yep. And whenever they release it, they always go back and tweak things. They make the controls better, smoother, like better performance. Now it runs at 4K, 60 frames per second. So it's great. What better time to play Kingdom Hearts than now,
Absolutely.
Which is awesome. You know, you can buy it for $30 all on PlayStation, every single game. On Game Pass, you can subscribe to it for $1, play through all the games, save for Melody of Memories, because that just came out. And now on PC, you can play it. However, there are a couple of, I don't even want to say these are hoops you have to jump through, but the game...
No, those are hoops I have to jump through, homie. Those are 100% hoops you gotta jump through.
Let's leave it up to the chat. Let's see if these are actually hoops. Kingdom Hearts, for right now anyways, we don't know an exact time frame on when it won't be, but Kingdom Hearts is exclusive to the Epic Games Store.
Oh, that part? Nah. I thought we were talking about the price. I was like, the price, that's a hoop.
Right.
No, Epic Games Store ain't a hoop.
Well, if you talk to Steam people, Epic Games Store is literally like downloading that is like somebody kicked their dog and insulted their mother, and
it's like pulling teeth. It's like someone came over, took a shit in the reservoir water tank of the toilet.
That's literally what it was. But I mean, we can touch on that another time. The pricing is actually where a lot of people, they saw the announcement. Yeah. They're like, Kingdom Hearts on PC, yeah, Epic Games Store, whatever. Oh, that price though. So let me break down the pricing for y'all before we touch on this. So for Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and 2.5, mind you, these are old ass games And what we're getting are ports of old ass games. So for Kingdom Hearts 1.5, 2.5, which brings together 4 playable games, that's $50. All right. I mean, not too bad. Technically speaking, not too bad. You get 4 games to play when realistically only 3 of those you really want to play. Kingdom Hearts 2.8, which is 1 playable game, 1 glorified demo, and 1 cutscene theater.
The glorified demo.
$60. $60 in 2000. Mind you, this game launched on PS4 4 years ago for $60, and they're releasing it 4 years later on Steam on Epic Game Store for $60.
Right now, it's like $60 for the complete story.
No, it's
not even that.
$30. $30.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, and they always go on sale. Kingdom Hearts 3. Now this one is
on sale.
All of it, man. So
all
Kingdom
of
Hearts
it,
3,
the complete store, all in one package. PlayStation 4, $29.99 right now.
Amazing deal. So Kingdom Hearts 3 with Remind
on the store.
Damn,
on the
Dave,
store.
I'm trying
right
to
now.
finish this.
Sorry.
on the store now, it's what, 25?
Yeah, on the PlayStation Store.
Wow. Holy shit. That's insane. So Kingdom Hearts 3 with Remind is $60, which, I mean, yeah, you can get Kingdom Hearts 3 for $9 and then buy Remind for $20. So this is not a great price, but it's better. And then Melody of Memories, I mean, that's a new game, so it's $60. So I'm not really too stressed. But yeah, this is actually not that surprising. I'm getting deja vu with this because when the games launched on Xbox last year, they were the exact same price, which is just Square Enix being Square Enix and valuing their IPs. So it is going to suck. I know there's a lot of people out there, if these ports are really good, which is a topic we'll talk on in a second, they're just going to buy this day one. There's a lot of people out there who's just going to buy it because it's Kingdom Hearts. There's a lot of people who are going to pirate it because it's Kingdom Hearts. So people are interested in this. The pricing is something I don't think a lot of you guys have to worry about because as history has shown, a lot of games in the industry, save for Nintendo, they drop down in price quick. So Kingdom Hearts launched on Xbox for this full price shenanigans. Within a couple of weeks, they were half off. Now you can get the games for under $20. Like if you have Game Pass, you can get Kingdom Hearts 1.5, 2.5 for $12. They still don't have the all-in-one package yet on there, which sucks. Everything is digital. But yeah, pricing, it's in the beginning it sucks, but it will get better. Go ahead.
I think the roughest part on the pricing, personally, is the fact that they're charging $60 for 2.8.
Oh,
personally,
God.
Like, dude, that's a kick in the balls, dude. Like,
it's one playable game.
Yeah, that's my only issue, dude. Like, cause and the way I look at this is definitely taking advantage of the PC crowd. Like, like, cause I play on everything, but like I have friends that will never touch a PlayStation, never touch an Xbox. They hype for this Kingdom Hearts though, because they know I won't shut the fuck up about it.
Yeah.
But they're getting absolutely screwed because it's like $50 for 1.5, 2.5, not bad. You got what, like 4 games there?
Yeah,
not too bad.
You get 4 games. You get 3 Kingdom Hearts style games, and then Chain of Memories, which is card based.
Okay, so not a terrible sale. Then you got 2.8. That's $60, and this is where it's like kind of fucks me here because it's like if you're new to the series, you need to play 2.8 to understand the story because you need to play Dream Drop Distance because 3 literally starts right at the ending of Dream Drop Distance. So it's like you're kind of getting screwed the pooch on there. So the pricing, dude, is rough. That's all I gotta say. The pricing's rough, and I'm only worried because Square Enix ports.
Yeah, speak on this. So the last one I remember receiving a lot of flack was Nier Automata. That one got so much flack from people. Even now, like people still have to download mods. They've never fixed the game, which is so weird because they released it on Xbox and it's fine, which is very strange. But yeah, there's that. Final Fantasy 15 had issues, even though the game itself looks amazing on PC. It had issues. I don't know how Dragon Quest did, but I feel like Dragon Quest is not really a demanding game, so you can't really screw that up. You get what I'm saying?
It depends. It depends on like what kind of like DRM they have in it, because
it can fuck your performance.
Square Enix is like notorious for using like DRM that just sucks up like performance.
What do they use?
Like
Do they use de novo?
De novo, yeah. Like one game that was just absolutely like ass on Steam was I always like to call this douche ex-girlfriend.
Douche ex-girlfriend.
Mankind Divided.
yeah, they definitely screwed that.
That game had like the Neville in that game made that game run like just complete trash, just awful, just awful. Despite that the game is an amazing game, but the anti-cracking software they had on it just really bogged it down, because like what a lot of people don't know is like this anti-cracking software is actually like a separate program that's running in the game at the same time.
Yep.
So it adds on to the performance value, because like Capcom was notorious for this with Monster Hunter World on PC, but Resident Evil 2 ran great. So don't know what
weird.
They changed.
It's so weird.
Don't know what they changed in that time, but they did something. But yeah, Square Enix titles, man, they're really hit or miss, dude, when it comes down to PC. Because like, for example, but then again, like this, I don't want to say this one really counts, is like Final Fantasy 14 Online. That runs great on the PC, but also at the same time, it's online game, so doesn't need cracking, anti-cracking, software. So I say it's hit or miss, because I played the first Tomb Raider on PC, and that one ran great. But I played a couple of Final Fantasies on PC, and let me tell you, dude, that shit was stanky, bro. Like I got Final Fantasy stories. I got Final Fantasy 13 a while ago on PC because it was on sale, and I just wanted to try it again. And bro, I couldn't even get past like the beginning of it. It just ran so bad. It was awful.
It's so weird, and I think part of that has to do with the fact that they are a Japanese company, and it's so funny because there was a period in time, especially in the early 2000s, where we all used to think of Japan as the forefront of technology. They have all the cool stuff. They're 10 years ahead of America, and in some respects, Asian territories are 10 years ahead of everybody else. But when it comes down to game development, if you're not an optimization wizardry vault like Nintendo, Japanese developers don't really take advantage of the hardware. They don't really push the visuals. They have smaller budgets. And just in general, they aren't quick to adapt to stuff like Western developers do. So their PC ports, man, I remember when the first Dark Souls came out. Oh, God.
Yo, that's some dark times. Somebody asked... Octopath runs great on PC, just to clarify. But that's not a really demanding game.
I think it really just depends on the company that's making it and what they're doing at the time when it comes to the porting.
Absolutely. And another factor I think has to play into it is what the spectrum of the game is, like resource value, like how high end is this game, and then again with the the anti-pirating software plays a big piece in it, but also at the same time also comes with, that's when optimization comes of PC porting. And there's things you could tweak to get around those optimization issues with their DRM, which is probably why like with Nier Automata, the mods make it work better, because they essentially did the optimization for everyday user,
Yeah, so it'll be interesting. We'll see what happens. I think Kingdom Hearts 3, judging based off the facts, should run the best because it's the most recent game. It's running Unreal Engine 4, so that should be able to be ported easily. The other games, probably not so much. Even on Xbox, there's a couple of weird, goofy things about it. Like, for example, at the end of Kingdom Hearts 2, if you look at one of the boss fights, they straight up left PlayStation buttons as the icons instead of changing them to Xbox.
What?
Yes. I'll send you the clip later. But if you look at the Xemnas boss fight in Kingdom Hearts 2, I believe it's the scene where you take control of Riku. There, if you look at because you know how when you play as Riku or Mickey, how they don't have full move sets, they have like half move sets. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they have the moves on screen. Whereas on PlayStation, it has the buttons right there. on the Xbox version, instead of having the Xbox face buttons, it has the PlayStation buttons. And I don't know if they patched it in since last year.
Oh my god.
But they just left that shit, which is so weird because the rest of the port runs great. I mean, it is a little jarring
hilarious.
when the reaction command comes up. It's green, but you're pressing the Y button on Xbox. So yellow and green look really weird together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that would mess me up. I'd accidentally probably hit A on accident on the Xbox if the green came up.
Yeah, so we'll see how the port is concerned. Judging based off their history, there's not a lot of good stuff. A lot of people are bringing up Chrono Trigger and the pre-Final Fantasy 5, 6, 7, pre-Final Fantasy 7 ports. Yeah, they really messed up big time with those, especially Final Fantasy 6, because what they would end up doing is sometimes they would port the mobile versions of the games, which was trash for PC users to try to deal with that. Or they would go ahead and try to make a custom version and then still fuck it up. So the jury is out, but we have one last super chat coming in from Osbel Launch 100. Thank you so much for that, brother. He says Falcom, who's the company who makes the Trails games like Legend of Heroes, Trails of Cold Steel, Trails in the Sky, things like that. Really, really big in the niche Japanese RPG community. Falcom is only just now using motion capture in their games, like in the game that came out in August last year. Yeah, Japan is still, it's like they still have that PS2 game mindset when they're making releases, you know? It's yeah, they don't I mean, and to be fair, Falcom is a very small company. Right. If you look at their games going from one series to the other, you can definitely see the framework of things, which it's kind of like one of those things you have to temper your expectations, because Falcom makes amazing games, and the Trails series, the story, the RPG mechanics, that is just unmatched. So yeah. But part of me does wish that, oh my god, if you had the Square Enix production values with your level of storytelling and narrative, like, this is going to be the greatest game ever.
It'd be a whole new game on that point.
Right. And one last thing before... Go ahead, you were saying something?
Oh, I was going to say, it's going to be like a whole new game on that part as far as well, you already said production value, but as far as aesthetics go, like models and looks and the fluid of it all, it would be like a completely different game at that point, because you're taking on actual people versus, click and pointing on a computer. You're actually getting everything down, and like motion capture has been such a big part of like game development now. It's actually kind of surprising that when some of these bigger titles come out, if they aren't using motion capture when it comes to certain games. I know not all games still use it, but some of these games that benefit highly from it, it's actually surprising when they don't switch to that.
Right. And I definitely think it's a knowledge and a budget issue that comes into play with that. But yeah, to wrap it up, you guys, Kingdom Hearts on PC. I definitely knew something was going to happen just because they ported the games to Xbox last year. And whenever they port something to another platform, like with Valkyria Chronicles, all of a sudden Sega just randomly decided to port the first game to PC. And what happens? It did very well. Ported it to PS4. What happens after that? We announced Valkyria Chronicles 4 coming out on all platforms in the Switch. And hey, we're bringing the first one to the Switch. So if this does very well, I can see them bringing more of their recent entries. I mean, a lot of the recent Square games are on PC. But for the future, Final Fantasy 16 could get a PC port at some point.
I honestly, speaking of that, when's that Final Fantasy 7 news coming out?
I believe this weekend, they said.
I am putting my money. It's PC version and PS5 upgrade.
Right. I was thinking it might be Xbox, but I have a feeling.
I don't think they're going to do Xbox.
I don't think they're going to do that, but we'll see this weekend. But there is one last little tidbit of news. I don't know if you saw this, Gabe, but this was actually revealed a couple of hours after Kingdom Hearts was on PC. But for the very first time in the series, on PC, Kingdom Hearts will be supporting dual language options.
Whoa.
So you can listen to it in English or Japanese, which is huge for Kingdom Hearts fans. That is huge.
Yeah, that's massive. Whoa.
Yeah.
Are those options available on the console version?
Nope.
Wow.
So that's so strange. I don't know what it was about this PC release where they were like, hey.
Licensing, maybe? I know Sony is really weird with copyright when it comes to music and sounds, but I don't feel like that would stop them
That
from.
wouldn't. I mean, it wouldn't stop them because
That's weird.
the game.
Why would
Yeah,
that? That feels like, that's almost like an industry standard at this point. If the game supports it, not like Yakuza because that game's Japanese, but I mean, I know the later games have some like
yeah,
English options, but for for the forefront, it's Japanese. But I'm actually kind of surprised because like a lot of these, overseas, over here games, Western from Japan, a lot of those games have like multiple language options.
yeah.
I never realized that the Kingdom Hearts never on at least on the newer ones. I knew on the like when I played on like the PlayStation 2 and um the 3 and stuff like that, that they only had like a one set option. But
Hmm.
wow, that's definitely a that's definitely a game changer.
Yeah, and I think maybe this might have to do with the fact that when you release it on PC for the most part, you're selling to a global audience versus before where it's like you're selling to
Oh, you're
Japan,
right.
you're selling to
Yeah,
Europe, you're selling North America. So I like I said, I don't know
yeah.
anything about why they went ahead and they did this. Either way,
No, you might be right because if you go and like if I have Epic on my computer and I go to Japan or Europe or whatever, I'm still gonna have Epic and access to Epic and be able to play games on Epic. Same with like with Steam. Like if I go to Germany or UK, I'm still gonna play. I might get localization there, for pricing
yeah.
and maybe some region stuff. But for the most part, it's all one area because you can play your Steam account wherever you want. Same with Epic. I never thought of that. You might be onto something, Chris.
Maybe that's the only thing I can realistically think of because Square Enix doesn't just like do cool stuff out of the blue just
No,
cause, you know
yeah,
what
I
I'm
was gonna say
saying?
they're not just gonna give you the final, welcoming to using, their, multiple language options all of a sudden out of the blue after, how many years are we going on here? As far as the Kingdom Hearts franchise goes, how many times has it been re-released for us to play? And we've had changes, but there's a lot that can still be changed, like like language options.
Yeah. So depending on how this progresses, depending on the quality of the port, this might end up being the definitive version of Kingdom Hearts, which I really hope they
Oh,
do. I really hope they go hard with. I mean, they don't have to go hard with the PC port, but I hope they have support for like high refresh rate, like higher frame caps. I
me
hope it's.
too.
I hope it's not capped at 60. I mean, maybe for animation purposes with the older games, it might be. But I think
Yeah.
with Kingdom Hearts 3, that's recent. That can go up to.
Yeah, that definitely should be upscaled. I'm hoping it takes full advantage of everything it has to offer, and it's not just a game on PC just to be a game on PC.
You like just a straight console port like Tales of Berseria,
Yeah, and I
you
say
know.
that for like any game when they put any game on any platform. They put a I don't know, like a Switch game, I don't know, on a PlayStation or an Xbox. I want them to take advantage of the hardware.
Yeah.
And same vice versa when it comes all around. Like I want games to be, like for example, Kingdom Hearts being on the Xbox, it takes advantage of the hardware because, like you said yourself, it runs way better on the Xbox than it does on its home console, the PlayStation.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll just have to see. But we're going to look at some of the comments real quick about this announcement because there's a lot of Kingdom Hearts fans.
Yeah.
And as Balan says, Japan had English through the final mix at least. We just never had the Japanese language options. Yeah. Whenever they released the final mix games in Japan, which is like their Game of the Year editions for those who don't know, they included the English dialogue options. Corey Gryffindor says, funny thing is, it's in there talking about the Japanese voices, but it's
Right.
not implemented in the console. So is this maybe a patch they have to send out through the airwaves and maybe that can unlock it?
That's weird.
Yeah.
I wonder if someone has like broken down and taken apart like the game on a computer and seen like what they have in those files because like that's so bizarre.
Yeah. Like it's not the thing I expected. I literally heard about that dual language options an hour before we did this podcast. I was like, well, that's cool. I mean, they had it before. Like Final Fantasy X let you choose your own language.
Yes,
The remake.
I remember
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I remember that.
15, I believe, had 15 had Japanese voiceovers too, right? Yeah, it did.
Wow, yeah, I'm looking at the specs right now
Epic Game Store.
on Epic Game Store. Right there, languages supported: audio, English, and Japanese.
Nice. Do they say anything about requirements?
Yeah, it's got system specs. Windows
Anything?
10,
Uh-huh.
Intel iCore i3, AMD A8. So this is for Kingdom Hearts the 1.5 2.5 remix. So i8 A8 is a onboard uh processing GPU chip. So it's like for like all-in-one computers. So basically what I'm saying right now is you have an all-in-one, you could probably play it. 4 gigs of memory requirement.
Oh, wow. So it's very low spec.
Storage is 60 gigs.
That sounds about
And
right.
then this is what's got me intrigued. DirectX version 12.
Whoa. That's
Mhm.
I did not expect that at all. What?
Yeah.
Why DX?
And then the graphics card, this is just all the minimum requirements, by the way.
Yeah.
And
What about for Kingdom Hearts
mi-
3?
let's see.
Like, because that's the one I think that most like would
Yeah,
stress
yeah. Let me
systems.
click to it. And for the final part for the graphics for 1.5, 2.5, 2 gigs or more for VRAM, and it says like an R7 Radeon or GT 730. So anything
Wow.
from like 2010 and
Yeah.
later.
So basically, literally around the time that they released the remasters. Yeah.
Let me look at Kingdom Hearts 2. Let's see. I know it says plus Remind. That'd be funny if it gave me the requirements for Remind.
Yeah, Remind, you gotta have a beefy machine. You gotta get that 3070, bro.
All right, so this is where stuff starts going up. All right.
Okay.
So when it comes to Kingdom Hearts 3, again, it's Windows 10, Intel i5 or AMD Ryzen 3. So that's something within at least the last 5 years.
Makes
if I'm not
sense.
mistaken. Well, at least 5 years. 8 gigs of RAM or more.
Makes sense.
It's going to be 75 gigs for storage. This is where it gets weird. So 1.5, 2.5, DirectX 12. 3 is DirectX 11.
I'm not a developer, so I'm not sure why one is 12 and one's 11.
I don't know either.
I would think 3 would be 12, and the other
Yeah,
one.
me too.
I was gonna say I wouldn't be surprised if 1.5, 2.5 was like DX9 or something.
I mean, as far as like programming goes and graphically, 12 would make sense, especially since both of these are the OS requirement to Windows 10.
Yeah, you're right.
So it makes sense because 12 is only supported on 10.
Yeah.
And 12 is theoretically better than 11. It's at least graphically an improvement, and it even runs better than 11. So overall, 12 is a better system. So I'm not sure, but it could be one of those situations where if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
True.
I don't know. The graphics card, 2 gig video, at least 2 gigs of video RAM. It's either a 760 for NVIDIA or again R7 for Radeon.
Oh, so anything
again,
in the past 5 years or so.
Yeah, and that's for a minimum. They do have recommended. The processors doesn't change for recommended, which is kind of weird. I mean, Ryzen goes up to a higher 3. It's a 3000, so it's one of the newer ones. And then i5 goes up to a 7500. So again, you're still in the i5 Ryzen 3 category. So you're still within the family. You're not going up to anything higher. So if you have a Ryzen 4, that your recommended is a 1070, 8 gigs. And for this is what's kind of weird for AMD, but it's a RX Vega 56 8 gig, which Vega was kind of like a higher end graphics card for AMD. Yeah. So that's kind of weird. But so I mean, it looks like it's leaning more on NVIDIA for video specs, but as far as the requirements go, they're not anything like crazy.
Yeah, seems about right.
Most people will be able to play it for the most part. I mean, that's for 3, which is weird.
And you got to also wonder, what do they mean by recommended? What do they mean by recommended or minimum? Because remember, these are also really old games. So maybe the minimum could be like 1080p 60, which if you can all in one that, I think that's going to be fine for people. You know what I'm saying? Recommended might be higher resolutions, higher frame rates. I'm really going to be interested to see what they do with the graphic options. Like, are they going to go back and like, oh man, high spec textures and all that? I'm
curious. Yeah, I'm really curious because we're only like a month out from this coming out.
Yeah, a month and change.
So I don't know if this is just like a template for right now, or if this is like all the full legit stuff. Because sometimes when they put these games on Storm pages, they just have like a minimum guessing for the template. Like Cyberpunk had one, and it changed over and over again.
Yeah.
A lot of games will have that sometimes. So I wonder if this is just like, just a storefront, like, hey, this is what we're aiming at, or if this will change. But the requirements really aren't that high, so I'm really curious what this performance is going to be like for 3.
All right. Well, that about wraps it up, ladies and gentlemen. Kingdom Hearts is coming to PC at the end of March. So if you got a gaming rig, you've always wanted to play Kingdom Hearts, check it out. Provided the port is good, mind you. We always have to stress that. Don't just run out and support something because it's your favorite series. Look into that. And I think like this actually makes things very easy for us, Gabe. Because if we ever wanted to stream Kingdom Hearts, we don't have to get our consoles. We don't have to get a capture card.
Yeah. Right, we could just play it.
Like what people who don't do streaming, it's so much easier to stream directly off a PC. Like,
100%. Like
so
I have
much.
a capture card, man. It's such. I don't want to say it's an inconvenience, but it's an inconvenience. If you guys only play on console, this is not a diss for you guys, but it is a pain in the ass to when you're able to stream on PC. You'll get to know what I'm talking about, but on PC, it is so easy. It's so easy to set up and get going on PC versus all the like loops and hoops and ducks and dives you got to get through on the console. Like for my capture card, I got to like plug this in, plug that in, plug in the power. I got to go into my settings, and I can't just go ahead and set it up because now I got to run audio through my computer.
Yeah.
It's a whole process.
Right.
So like for streaming, this is going to be big because, I would not be surprised when this game comes out, as far as like Twitch goes, if it's going to have like a little bit of a big Twitch following in the beginning. I mean, I kind of hope it does because it would really make me happy to see a lot of like these big streamers playing Kingdom Hearts for the first time.
Absolutely.
That would make me so happy.
and I think it would be great. Honestly, I'm thinking like, because I do need to buy a new capture card, a proper capture card, but what's always holding me back from doing that is just I would stream games, but part of me is thinking I want to wait for those to get PC ports because it's so much easier. Like I'm gonna stream the data battles because Corey Gryffindor donated for me to do that. But then part of me is thinking like, why don't I just get Kingdom Hearts 3 on PC, play through that entire game, stream that, have Corey Gryffindor watch me get my ass kicked on every boss, and then have it be clutch? Because literally, it's so simple, you guys. You have a powerful rig. All you do is double-click the program, open up OBS, add that there, boom. That's it.
Yeah, and most of the time it even optimizes it. Like it'll run like recommended best settings for what you have, and if you need to tweak it, it's not that hard.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm excited to see what happens here, and it's only a couple of weeks till we have to experience that. But that just about wraps it up, ladies and gentlemen, for another installment of the Sweaty Cast. We went over about 2.5 hours, definitely one of our longer episodes, but there was a lot of stuff to discuss today, a lot of great topics. This is our first where we really covered everything. We talked a bit about politics, Star Wars. I mean, I can already see, I'm looking at the dislikes, guaranteed 9 of those dislikes came from the Star Wars talk. I have a feeling it was that.
I promise you it's what it's from. When you went on talking about conservatives, everyone everyone stopped moving and there was an elephant in the room.
Yeah, that's just how it is. But you know what it is, man. We're not the show you go to just echo all of your beliefs. You just get it raw. Like the best things in life, I enjoy them raw. And that's what you're getting with the Sweaty Cast, man. It's just me and the homie Gabe. That's pretty much all we want to talk to you guys about today. But beforehand, this is not going to be a segment on the show, but I want to do this considering I've noticed the shirt you're wearing, Gabe. I've noticed you're kind of like an anime head, right?
Absolutely.
What's that shirt? What's that little shirt creeping out from the mask? What is that?
It's a Bleach shirt.
It's a Bleach. Is that looking like Hollow Ichigo, right?
Yeah.
Show it to the stream. Show it to the stream, bro. They want to see that shit. You want to see that shit? Look, he got
You
that.
got it out.
But you know what the funny thing is? By no coincidence, like this is total coincidence. We didn't plan this shit whatsoever. I'm also sporting an anime shirt right now. Gabe probably can't see it unless he's got the stream going. But all the OGs will know what that shit is. Got that Yu Yu Hakusho drip.
Oh,
Yo,
he got the Yu Yu on.
drip.
He got the
Right? And
yes.
Yo, and guess who got me this shirt, you guys? The homie Gabe. Yep, he's a man of culture. Look, he's got the heartless. He's got the heartless tattoo and everything, man. This guy Gabe's got that good taste.
Got that organization hood on. I got everything, bro.
Straight up. Next time you
I got Spider-Man underwear on too.
Oh, so that could be your next cosplay. Some weird organization 13 Hollow Ichigo hybrid.
I don't know about that.
It could be. But you guys, thank you so much for joining us
on
this episode of the Sweaty Cast. We love and appreciate every single one of y'all. If you enjoyed the stream, make sure y'all hit that like button. It helps the channel out tremendously. And I love how I said we got 2 dislikes. We literally, when I said we had 9 dislikes, now we have 11 dislikes. So, yo. It's like somebody's just watching like, no, I'm going to dislike this. Like, I don't get why people watch something they don't like. I mean, it's like NWA says, man, I don't care. I don't care if they freaking burn it, stomp on it. They still pay money. You still came to the stream. Like Dave Chappelle said, remember, bitch, you clicked on my face. Like, straight up.
Oh, my God.
Right, so Gabe, say your usual outro. Where can these people or these lovely people find you?
All right, you guys can find me on Twitter at ShutUpGabe with 2 E's, and you can find me on Twitch with ShutUpGabe with 1 E. I'm also on Instagram, ShutUpGabe with 1 E.
Awesome. And y'all know me. All my links are down below in the video description. Twitter.com/NeoGameSpark. I'm gonna be streaming more on Twitch. Get some gaming in because it's been a while. I know.
Finally.
It's been a while.
Bro, you were like this close. You were like this close to like affiliate, like this close to like everything, and then you're like, nah, I ain't gonna go stream for a while. Like I was looking at your analytics, dude. You were 1 day away, bro. Like I was looking at it, I was like, dude. He is 1 day away.
You know what the sad thing is?
He only had to be on one more time, stream for 1 hour. You could be on the beating your meat, like just for 1 hour, just something, dude. Just 1 hour.
I feel like you're speaking from personal experience with that one, Gabe. What's going on with that?
Hey, don't follow Shut Up Gabe on OnlyFans.
Yo, straight up, you might see you might see some Arizona heat on there. That's all I can say.
Y'all into feet? Because let me tell you, feet and heat. Let me tell you.
Hey yo. But that's all we got for y'all today. Y'all enjoy the rest of your nights, your morning, your afternoons. Y'all take care, and until next time, stay sweaty.
Peace
out, y'all. This man said Arizona heat, and I'm still streaming that, by the way, because this guy just he really said that.
What's wrong with Arizona heat?
What's wrong with Arizona heat and beating your meat? That's what.
Arizona beating your meat, got some feet and heat.
Oh my God. All right, y'all, we out. Good night.
Peace.